landlubbers, it's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. Hi, hello. I've been ranting a little bit in the sort of pre-show, whatever. There's no proper terminology or designation for this. I was talking a little bit about the tradition of, for the past several years, my mom has gotten me really nice advent calendars, and then I make little photo album things. I mean, they're called albums. It doesn't feel like a good name for them. But like, I just like post little, usually with the Lego ones, which I've gotten for like, I don't know, 7 years. I can't bother to do the math. Maybe it's closer to 6. But in those you get a little build every day, maybe get a little character or something. I try to make little stories with no words to them. They're probably medium, but people tell me they look forward to them. The part of the trouble is just like around this time of year it gets really busy and it's hard to keep up with it. But my, I to my credit, I was quick to point out that I've been negligent in sharing this with my mom, who bought the calendar. She's not on the Discord currently. And she very politely asked if I could send the link, which it is my intention to do, but it has been my intention to do that for many days. December is tough. For some reason, the past few years, I found it increasingly difficult to make time each day just to like do the photos. It's not like a huge imposition, but like part of it, I think, is just that like I want it to look nice and not look like garbage, but then it's something that I did, and those things are there's a tension there typically. But yeah, I mean, that was going to lead me directly to this point, which is that we're nearing the end of 2024. It's been a really difficult year for me. Basically, the combination of the move and like the weird adjustment to time off in Florida have like left me with 2 periods of time where I have to work really hard to stay on top of work, coupled with the holidays. And for those who watch regularly, just a few weeks ago, my boss like just decided to put things on like nightmare mode instead of hard mode. So it's just been a really awful year for work. Like my job isn't that bad, but like my job has been doing an impression of like the worst version of itself really consistently for like 80% of the year, which sucks. Like one of the things I like about the job, other than the flexibility of being able to work from 3,000 miles from where it started, and also from home, which are distinct but also united in form, is that like it's ostensibly pretty menial. Like it's not high stakes, it's not high responsibility. I don't really thrive in a high responsibility environment. So like that's nice, but like there's just been a lot of pressure. I mean, like the job is constantly moving in the sense that you are never done work. You don't simply do projects. It's not product based, not my part of it anyway. So like I don't know, it's just constantly moving. Like I'm trying to keep stuff up to date, but people are never going to stay on top of things forever. So like I am coordinating with people to get them caught up like on roughly a monthly cycle. But anything that disrupts my work over the span of a month makes it hard to do that. And like between the move and the holidays and the time that I certainly have done this to myself. But like, I mentioned a couple weeks ago that like with the weird change in state and vacation policy that I had like this like more time left over than I thought I would, and I like took pretty much all the days that I could. It's a lot. It's very challenging. Like I'm working extremely hard to like not fall behind, and it doesn't help that like even though I'm actually doing a pretty good job of that under the circumstances, my boss keeps finding these ways to, I think, unintentionally be super passive aggressive about it, and I'm not enjoying that at all. So like, that like that's not going well. Like that's just a lot, and it's really stressful, and I'm like really spending most of my days being like completely dialed in to just like try and offset the holidays preemptively, because God, if I'm not on top of that before the holidays, like the start of the year is going to be a nightmare because the start of the year is usually very bad. Um, and then on top of that, just like gifts at the holidays are a real struggle for me. Like a real, it's something that like I feel like in a controlled environment is something I'm good at, but the environment I find myself in is that I'm the like as someone who doesn't like pressure or stress. I work a not particularly lucrative job, and despite Demolition's best interests, I don't live off of Twitch. So you know, I'm doing the best with what I can, but also like everyone I'm regularly buying gifts for is in a much better position to just buy whatever they want, and also for some reason don't want to tell me what they want. So like the best I could do is like get a gift card or like take a shot in the dark. It's a struggle. And like I don't know, it shouldn't bother me that much, but like because I care about like getting something that like matters or shows some thought, like it sucks. I don't like just getting gift cards all the time, which I've done for like at least 3 years. I think there've been a couple exceptions here and there, but like it's been a lot of that, and I don't love that for me. I don't mind that so much with like, you know, a lot of my friends who like don't live locally are like in a similar position to me. Like Tech's probably do better than me. Some of our other college friends are, I think, around my level in that regard. But like, you don't necessarily get gifts all the time. We kind of have like a rhythm of like get something if we see something that like sparks memory or connection or something. Like randomly for my birthday like 3 years ago, one of my college friends just got me a Funko Pop Squirtle because I always used to play Pokemon Trainer in Smash Brothers, and I would disproportionately play Squirtle because I love Squirtle, and also because I could then be really annoying as Squirtle, who's insanely fast, and then just like when they get mad, like stare them directly in the face and be like, "You can't be mad. I am an adorable turtle." Which is, if you don't know me, that's a pretty encapsulating quote from yours truly. Saying you need to redouble your efforts. I'm saying that you should take a holiday from trying to support an idiot like me. But I do appreciate that. I not only appreciate the many gift subs that started this stream, I appreciate the concerted effort to go to 999 before reaching 1,000. Clearly you did that on purpose, and I see you. But yeah, all of this rant, this very self-indulgent rant, is simply to say that, like, I'm doing my best. I'm not as responsive on the Discord as I want to be, and I know that. And the same is true for the calendar, which I know some people really look forward to. I will continue to do my best, but I can't tell you how often this week I've been like, if I just, like, front load my day by focusing really hard, then I can, like, maybe ease off and, like, take 10 minutes to like build a Lego and take 3 photos, and then by like 2 in the afternoon I want to die. So it's tough. It's been a challenge. Now I say that, and I have an email job that's been really kind to me, so like I don't exactly mean it to complain. It's not that I think it's unfair. It's really my own circumstances that have created all of this, but it's still an issue that needs to be addressed, and I'm not doing a good job of it, is really the end of that story. I also tell the story because like my week has been consumed fully by work, and I have nothing interesting to say that isn't that. So, with that in mind, Sam and Max. So where are we at Sam and Max? Well, we are about to play the final adventure game installment of Sam and Max to the present date, which is hashtag dating this live stream, December 6th, 2024. We have played through Sam and Max Hit the Road. We've played through Sam and Max Save the World. We have played through Sam and Max Beyond Time and Space, and now we've reached episode 5 of Sam and Max The Devil's Playhouse, which I still consistently to this day want to call the Devil's Toy Box, because the Devil's Toy Box is a really central part of the story of season 3 and the Devil's Playhouse is nothing. It still makes me a little mad that they've done this. It also makes me a little mad that this season is the worst Sam and Max one of them. There is, and I know this to be true, which is why I tried to phrase these things carefully. There is like a Sam and Max VR game that I know next to nothing about. I think it's on PlayStation. I don't know if it's on anything else. But I don't like VR, and I definitely haven't invested money or have interest in owning VR equipment. I'm reasonably susceptible to motion sickness, and I just generally haven't liked any VR experience I've had. That's a little strong. I don't like them enough that I want to invest or care about whatever I just said. Listen, I'm tired. It's been a long week. So Sam & Max season 3. As I said, we saved the world, then we went beyond time and space. We met them. They're great. They're one of the best villains of all time. I legitimately didn't remember any of the villains from this season. It's not that they're not important to the story, because they are. They're just kind of forgettable to me. Now, granted, I had forgotten quite a bit about the villain of season 1, but the moment he was reintroduced, I was like, oh, I forgot about you. What a treasure. And when we got here, I was like, right, Skunk Ape, whatever. Paperweight? Legitimately don't remember this guy existing. So let's do a real quick and dirty recap, episode by episode, even though, and this is true, the story doesn't really build in season 3 the way it does in seasons 1 or 2, so none of this really matters. All that really matters is where we ended up. So we'll do this real fast. In episode 1, we met General Skunkape, also known as General Skunk Ape. I don't honestly know the correct way to put the accent Segu on there. I don't actually remember which one's Egu. It's just a fun one to say. So General Skunk Ape he escaped from a dimensional prison in order to claim the toys of psychic power or something. He wanted to get the Devil's Toy Box, which is an artifact that's full of artifacts that grant psychic powers to those who have psychic capabilities. It's all kind of vague and very hand-wavy. But he escaped from an interdimensional prison, and we put him right back in one. Now, he did free himself almost immediately, but not before we had an entire chapter that was dedicated to a film reel that was stored beside the Devil's Toy Box, which we did find at the end of episode 1, when we had our confrontation with General Skunkape. Nothing of consequence happened in this chapter. It makes me very mad. It introduced Monsieur Paperweight. He's like a really sort of stereotypical, Cthulhian figure of, he wants the power of the unknowable, just cause. Sounds like fun. And because we tampered with a ritual of his at the end of this chapter, he ended up with Yog Sagoth in his stomach, and very relatable, right? I think we've all been there. Episode 3, the villains from the first 2 episodes clashed with one another over the Devil's Toy Box after someone stole it, as well as Max's brain. This led to a weird incident where we did ultimately turn the 2 against each other, but in the process, we put the mummified brain of psychically enabled Pharaoh into Max's skull. And no, I didn't accidentally start describing Yu-Gi-Oh!, even though that happens all the time. But once the villainous parties were distracted, then Sam and Mac, the Pharaoh in question, reshaped reality with himself as Pharaoh, and we had to disrupt that. But then we returned to a normal present to find that there is an army of doppelgangers, aka clones of Sam, one of the main characters of Sam and Max, if you're paying attention. As we fled from them, we found that there was some weird conspiracy, some underground cloning facility, an effort to use these clones to accumulate all the toys of power, refill the Devil's Toy Box, and then something generically evil. Along the way, we figure out that one of the toys that we've encountered in our travels, Charlie Hotep, who's like a ventriloquist dummy, is actually sentient and evil. Surprise Pikachu face. And he's super mad that Yog Sagoth's son, I think he's just called Junior. I want to call him like Todd Sagoth or something, because I think that's funny. But I think canonically his name is simply Junior, because you couldn't pronounce it without enough mouth tentacles. But he was mad that Junior stopped playing with him, and so he wanted to channel the power of the toys to destroy Junior and Yog Sagoth, and then question marks profit. I don't know. Nothing feels all that super duper thought out here in season 3. But once again, the ritual went sort of awry. Max had to ascend to like a new level of power, and like do battle on the astral plane, kind of, sort of. But then he sort of fell on top of the Statue of Liberty and mutated into a giant eldritch horror of his own right. And that's where we pick up with the city that dares not sleep. Recap Dunzo. Game Starto. They need Sam and Max and Yu-Gi-Oh! There's so much weird stuff. Like Gradius from the Konami video game Gradius is canonically in the card game. I feel like it wouldn't be that much of a stretch to put Sam and Max in there. Every now and then I catch a glimpse of what the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypes are, and some of them are preposterous. Like, you could put, like, Dog and Rabbit Detective in for sure. No, also a couple comments on, like, actual good VR games. I really like, I Expect You to Die. I don't think that's exclusively VR, but I like that one. I think we streamed that, like, 1,000 years ago from text PS4.
For our final chapter.
Hey, buddy, no one likes you. Yeah, Castor, you're literally just in time. You just started. It's been a half hour. It's been like 40 minutes. Shut up. Everything's fine.
Behemoth. Even now, he cuts a swath of destruction through the Upper West Side, releasing hideous spores that feed off the psychic energy of Dream. You might think that this is yet another predictable story of a giant monster attacking Manhattan. But you'd be dead wrong, my friends. This is a mystery story, a tale of treachery and deceit. Watch carefully, my friends, because before our story is complete, one of the characters you see before you will betray Sam and Max. Who is it?
I mean, there's like a weird Pharaoh character we've never seen before on the right, above the director from Midtown Cowboys, among other things.
You have more pressing concerns. The great Max Beast, his hour come round at last, slouches towards Brooklyn to be born.
Posture check? Yeah, posture check. Sam and Max, basically the last one. I do hope someday that they get another revival. It doesn't seem like it's completely out of the question, but like, I think it's gonna take at least another few years. I do like that the helicopters just say Army on them. Okay, what is the Cthulian nomenclature for a big rampaging lagomorph? It kind of didn't look like he hit those helicopters sufficiently. Okay. Some superliminal messaging that probably works because of the psychic powers.
The entire neighborhood of Tribeca has fallen asleep.
Those fools! Why did they insist on...
How are you getting the data of how many people are asleep in Tribeca?
The creature is destroying the city.
Wasn't Skunk Gabe's picture there? Yeah.
As acting president, I'm forced to launch the final imperative.
No, wait. There's still some of Max in there. I know it. There's got to be another way.
We've tried everything, sir.
Not quite everything. If you could somehow get a team of highly trained experts inside Max, they might be able to reach his brain and reverse the
inner space.
But the neutrons have already attempted to get through every point of entry. Some of the attempts were too horrible to even think about.
Yeah, but they've all been avoiding the mother of all orifices, Max's mouth.
I'm surprised we consider that the mother orifice.
That's suicide.
I guess.
You know what? I regret saying that.
If you could find a way to get him to swallow you whole, there'd be an opening about 3 meters wide.
3 meters.
That would be impossible, even for a computer.
Max used to eat Stinky's Megachomp brats in one gulp, and those aren't much smaller than 3 meters.
Very well, sir. But I can only give you until 6 a.m. At that point, for the good of America, I'll have to launch the attack.
I'm on the case. Now, where am I gonna find a team of highly trained experts?
They're going to ask, wait, they tried every other orifice first? All of them? That does appear to be what we're saying, yes. Look who it is. It's Mr. Featherly, who we haven't seen in like 5 episodes or something. I've missed you, pal. How are you doing?
Greetings, Sam. As the official representative of the theater district, I offer our full support in this time of crisis.
Mr. Featherly, award-winning actor of stage and sitcom, inventor of free-range method of acting, tastes
Hi,
like
Mr.
himself.
Featherly.
That's
Want
unfortunate.
to join the team and help us save Max?
Unfortunately, I must decline. Union rules, you know. Can't perform inside any theater smaller than 500 seats or any creature larger than 10 stories. And for obvious reasons, I am averse to being eaten.
I mean, I think typically most people are. I don't know that that's like a unique feature to you simply because chicken.
Very well. Keep me updated. Yes, sir.
Tell me about this
What's that
imperative.
you were talking about? The final imperative?
A full nuclear strike against former President Max.
Where would you get the equipment for that?
Each of the Maimtrons has been fitted with a nuclear warhead and given a programming upgrade so that their song references are slightly less dated. Also, they can fly now.
Whoa, wait a minute. That's like way ahead of its joke as like a or way ahead of its time as like a sarcastic reference. Because like everyone hates that line of dialogue from what is that? Right? I'm totally blanking. What's the Star Wars I really hate? Episode 8, Last Jedi? I think that's the one where one of the stormtroopers has like a jetpack and like Finn goes, "They fly now?" And then like he like lands on the platform that he's standing on. They fly now. Is that 9? I just want to attribute all things I hate in Star Wars to that or to Andor, to Rise of the Jedi. But like that's such a thing I would expect them to put in after the release of that movie, and I have to say this game predates that by a lot.
Nuclear strike would wipe out all of New York. Not to mention kill my formerly little buddy.
You don't know that for sure.
Losses. It's all part of contingency plan 2, devised when Max became president.
Acceptable? How can you say... Wait, contingency plan 2?
Statistical
many are there?
analysis indicated that Max becoming a gargantuan hellbeast was the second most likely outcome.
What was the most likely outcome?
Imagine a scenario involving the worst
Pimpmobile.
aspects of the Norse legend of Ragnarok, the Book of Revelations, and Weekend at Bernie's.
Man, that has to be the plot of any future Sam & Max game right there.
Want to join us on the Max Rescue Team President Super Bowl?
Can't, sir. The 28th Amendment specifically forbids the acting president to enter the body of any former president. Besides, I have to stay here to prepare the nuclear strike when you and your team fail.
Thanks for the vote of
When?
encouragement.
I'm sorry, sir.
You gotta say
I'm
when.
bowing out. It's just separation anxiety.
Awfully convenient that you're next in line for the presidency right as Max gets turned into a giant monster.
Yes, sir. Convenient. And terrible.
I feel like no one in this room is going to join our team. Can I not talk to Paperweight? That seems weird.
Will you join the rescue team, Mama Bosco?
Sorry, Sam. If this is going to work, you're going to need me operating the radio and monitoring equipment from here.
Paperweight and I will be happy to assist, of course.
We will?
Man up, Paperweight. Sam is going to need someone familiar with creatures of the dark dimension.
That's a good start, but you're going to need 5 more people. A scuba diver, a veterinarian, a psychologist, a dark wizard, and a brain surgeon.
Did somebody call me?
Wow, it's sure been a hot minute. It's a really awkward freeze frame. Married to Abraham Lincoln, former neighbor of Sam & Max, former literally everything, and that's the joke.
Sybil, you've come to help us save Max?
What? Heck no. Seriously, did somebody call me? Harry Molman grabbed my cell phone from me and smashed it.
What? But
Oh, all right. I'm in. I'll wait by the car.
Looks like you've got your team, Sam. Now go out there and get Max to eat you. That sounded better in my head than out loud.
Forgot this lady even existed. Yeah, that's the curse of season 3. Like, Sybil wasn't my favorite character, but I think she really, like, encapsulated the cartoon stupidness of, like, Sam and Max. Like, the fact that, like, she just always had some job that, like, fit into whatever plot they needed for that exact episode. Like, there was something so beautiful about that relationship to me in these games. And the fact that it was abandoned almost completely for season 3 bums me out, man. So I guess I'm gonna go. So why is Mr. Featherly here if he's not, like, helping? Will putting Abraham Lincoln from episode 1 of season 3 ever be addressed? Almost certainly not, Neko. I wish that I, too, had magic finger guns that open doors.
Today is a good day to die.
Abraham Lincoln, honorary Klingon. 4 score and 7 tons of raw power.
Monster attacking the city, am I right, fellas? Now, you all know I'm not one for speeches, but I have prepared a few.
Really stupid.
Let's kick that devil bunny's ass. Move out! Hunt 2.
Pretty sure we don't get an explanation on exactly how, when, or why Abraham Lincoln got his groove back. And by groove, I mean entire body below the neck. Actually, below the jawline. New and improved. He flies now? He flies now. Hey, cool. Someone
Everything checks
we
out
retrofitted.
here.
Why are our wheels a bunch of plungers? I know I shouldn't ask, but I want to nonetheless. Can't check the news. So Sybil's my Max right now, huh? Where'd the
Where
robots
could
come
we to
from?
make that-
Your
U.S.
eyes
government.
are getting very, very heavy.
Oh, hi, Sam. With the modifications I've made to the DeSoto, we should
Oh, okay.
be all set to travel through Max. You'll just need to
Don't like
find a
that
way
phrasing.
to get it inside him.
Definitely like that phrasing.
are you sure it's safe for you to go on this mission in your, condition?
Don't worry, Sam. I've talked to the best OBGYNs and the finest classical sculptors, and they all agree that everything's fine. I'm not due for another 2 weeks at least.
Well, at least you're not due to retire in 2 weeks, then you definitely die.
So, looks like you and Lincoln had an, eventful honeymoon.
Oh, it was absolutely magical. He took me back home to D.C. to introduce me to his friends, and then one night, as we were out on the White House lawn, looking at the stars, he just suddenly took me in his... Sam? Sam, are you okay?
Self-defense mechanism, test pattern
My
activate.
brain went into shock for a second to prevent permanent damage. Please, go on.
Not much more to tell, really. 13 months later, and here we are.
Yeah, I don't know what the gestation period for big statue head is.
Well, I'm glad you two had a nice honeymoon, even though you must never ever speak of it again in my presence.
Oh, that's sweet. You know, I wanted to thank you and Max for introducing me to Abe, and I know how much you both like new guns, so before I left, I got you both a surprise.
Ooh, gimme! Where is it?
Shut up, not Max. But seriously, Sybil, where is it?
It's in those boxes of stuff I gave you for safekeeping.
Oh, crap. Just like the no attempt to hide it at all, like, oh no. Lincoln is helping me find my gun. Yeah. He sort of is, if you think about it.
Nice work, Sybil. I didn't know you were into cars.
Oh, you know, after college,
really more
I
civil,
got
but,
together
you know.
with a few of my girlfriends, and I know it's a cliche, but we opened a chop shop.
Suction wheels, antibody-proof paint job, and an exhaust system rich in omega-3. And what's that I smell?
I thought you would appreciate that.
Wiener-scented air fresheners!
Sybil, you're the best. Are those fake Maxes bothering you?
Sleep. Sleep.
Sam, I'm in my 5th trimester here. I couldn't sleep even if I wanted to.
Okay, see you around, Sybil.
Let me know as soon as you're ready to leave.
I wonder if we can, like, really come back here.
Hiya, pal. What's the rumpus?
Hey, Flint. Want to join us inside Max's body for...
Don't I, Sam? I've got to beat cheeks while the beating's good.
I don't like that phrasing either.
Okay.
Don't fret, Grandpa. I'll put the pinch on those grifters trying to take you for a ride faster than you can shave a hobo's coin slot.
I don't think I like that phrasing either.
Do that with the lingo getting all disturbing.
And it's always about hobos for some reason.
Ah!
Why is he beating Grandpa Stinky's
Irish
cheeks?
lullaby.
Because he can't make his own clap?
Looks like Max has been through here. He must have broken a water main while he was at it.
Go on, shoo.
Let me see if I can use Sal real quick.
Hey, Sal. Guess he's still skittish about that whole necking with Girl Stinky, plotting the murder of Grandpa Stinky, and unknowingly contributing to the apocalyptic fever dreams of a mad ventriloquist dummy from the Dark Dimension thing. But what's he doing hanging around Bosco Tech? Sal? Never mind.
Don't know where this is going, but I don't know what I'm doing either. Oh, hey, look. It's the devil. You would think he'd play a bigger part in the Devil's Playhouse.
But is it, as some would have you believe, the fault of an out-of-control hell beast, or something far, far worse?
Hey, watch it! You're blocking the live!
Oops, sorry, Jurgen. What's new, Beelzebub?
No time to chat, Sam. I'm doing public relations work that is absolutely crucial to my enterprise.
Father of lies. Currently pursuing anti-defamation lawsuit against the creators of this game.
Had a
Fair.
public relations department.
We sincerely appreciate your feedback. Now go away.
Why is there a water tower of vegetable oil?
Mind if I scooch on through and get to that water tower?
I cannot deal with more of these delays.
Please, Sam. The lighting is perfect right now. Be a good boy and wait until we're finished here. From the great pesto flood of 1908 to the premiere of Starlight Express in 1987, New York City is no stranger to tragedy. But this tragedy...
But is it a stranger to love?
Go Mets! New York rules!
I will cast you into the pit if you walk into frame again.
Smell the mystery. Smell it!
Hey, Satan, want to join our rescue team for fun-filled escapades inside Max's innards?
Now, what could I possibly have to gain from that?
Well, it'd be a lot of fun, and you could just pop us all right inside with your magic powers and stuff. Besides, it's just a good, noble thing to do.
You're not familiar
Hard pass.
with my previous work, are you?
So, that bald spot of yours keeps showing up on camera. Can you guys fix that in post?
What, is it showing? My stylist explicitly guaranteed it wouldn't be visible.
I have a jar of espresso beans.
I'd better keep these. Satan keeps waving that microphone around like he's some kind of big shot.
What do I have to do? Turn it into, like, a torch? There's like 1,000 dialogue options here.
I will cast you into the pit if you walk into frame again. All right.
At least it seems like this is one communal dialogue tree. Kind of thought I'd have to exhaust it twice. Though for some reason options aren't graying out. Is it really just that there's more than one thing to say in
What
each
are you
one?
filming here exactly?
It's just a documentary explaining how I had nothing to do with this giant Max attack.
Ah, plausible deniability.
More like protecting my brand. Just look at that psychic lummox. It just sits there eating things. Where's the temptation? Where's the cruel, ironic twist?
I want to go on record saying sorry Max blew up your toy box.
And that's another thing. Devil's toy box? I've never seen the thing before in my life. It's slander, pure and simple.
Yeah, the story I heard was it got left behind by some elder gods or something.
Exactly. Elder gods. They were already gone by the time I got here. Pinning this on me is nothing but character assassination.
Alright, well, I think I just need to pull the behind-the-scenes card when I know how I'm tampering with that microphone. I don't want to waste my entire life up here on this roof. Is he using vegetable oil as a mirror? I feel like stranger mirrors have been used. Ooh, cornmeal.
It's a ton or so of Grandpa Stinky's world-famous ultra-high fructose cornmeal. I don't think I'd be able to carry all of it.
I don't need all of it.
Can you not do something about your wee friend here?
I think if you just apologize for calling him short, we could put all this behind us.
It's nae worth it.
Do you want to join us for an action-packed fantastic voyage inside the body of Max?
Do I? Do I? No!
Oh, come on, Grandpa. Every action rescue team needs an unlikable one who's first to get picked off when the killing starts.
Well, I can't. I'm washing my beard tonight.
What's with the delivery truck?
Obviously, I'm delivering food for the war effort.
I don't see
For
anything
the
in there but
robots?
a bunch of cornmeal.
That's because these flaming parasites ran off with all me wieners.
We must feed the host. Pig lips and sphincters make us stronger. We regret nothing.
So, we're gonna batter the car in vegetable oil and cornmeal? Is that what we're talking about?
Have you and Stinky patched things up since your birthday party?
She and that bridge and tunnel and sewer boyfriend of hers are up to something. I guarantee it, and they are not going to catch me by surprise.
Were you making your diabolically delicious demon dogs?
I really thought they'd bring the city together, too.
Or at least the
That
voice to
actually
the
sounds kind of
yard.
Generous, Grandpa Stinky.
I know, especially since everyone in New York would be hooked, and then they'd have to come to my diner to get any more. I'd make a fortune. And now I suppose you expect me to be giving you my super secret recipe.
Well, yeah, that'd help.
All right, there you go.
That's it?
Of course that's it. It's just a recipe. Why do you always have to make things so complicated?
I don't know, Avril Lavigne.
With your truck out of commission, now what are you going to do?
Heading back to my diner while I still have one.
But you'll be crushed, or lulled into a horrible nightmarish sleep by the hideous spores.
Come
Same
play with
difference.
us, Grandpa. We will whisper sweet stories from the congressional record.
I haven't slept in 3 years, and I ain't about to start now.
If there was, like, a fictional world where just casually, like, a bunch of major characters had just decided not to sleep for years on end, this would really be it. This does feel accurate.
Thanks for the recipe, Grandpa Stinky.
Yeah, good luck with that, Marmaduke. Now I've got to perfect a recipe of my own.
Is that, like, code for go to the bathroom? 1,024 gallons of pure New York City tap water. I'm not totally sure why I have that crossed off. Just the big sinkhole or whatever. Mostly pure pork product, Frank, or substitute. 1 ton of cornmeal. 800 gallons of vegetable oil. 1 egg for binding. That's surprisingly good. That one gets me. Heat with unholy flame. Serve with gusto. Okay. So obviously the vegetable oil comes from upstairs, and the cornmeal comes from over here. Now, how it is that I gain possession of them so that I cross them off this list, slightly uncertain. Interestingly, this serves 666. It's kind of a lot of people, I guess.
The last box of corn dogs in the entire city.
Corn dogs? Gimme, gimme! What? Dog me, Sam. Keep 'em coming.
Go on, beat it.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Those imposters like corn dogs as much as the real Max does. I hope that means the real Max is still somewhere inside that lumbering sack of doom.
Lumbering Sack of Doom was my pet name in my last relationship. Isn't pure New York City tap water a paradox? I don't know, it might still be better off than Florida classic fart water.
It's a ton or so of Grandpa Stinky's world-famous ultra-high fructose cornmeal. I don't think I'd be able to carry all of it.
Oh, I need probably Sal? That's how I get possession of that? Oh, Sal is back. But he's still probably not going to talk to me, but he is back.
Hey, Sal! He's probably still smarting from falling down that bottomless pit. I'll come back and talk to him later.
Why do I want a small quantity of corn dogs? So I gotta do something about that microphone. I gotta picture an egg. And then I gotta get, like, a lot of pig sphincters.
The suction coefficients all check out. I just hope the enzyme scrubbers hold up.
Okay, so truck is end of the street world. It's a weird place for the giant max hitbox to be. Alright, I think we have to go inside. I don't know what to do with this coffee that's inexplicably in my inventory, or where to get all those delicious pig sphincters I need. Don't happen to be in these barrels over here, huh? No? Okay. There was the ability to access...
Wandering around the Mole Man tunnels is no fun without Max.
Okay, can't actually access the hole.
Welcome to the Creature Obliteration and Punishment Society.
Obliteration and punishment? You've got it all wrong. We're trying to help Max.
We will
The
help
acronym's
him
most important.
to a generous serving of ass whooping.
Oh, never mind. Rio.
So if a gibbon had a microchip implanted... Hey, wait a second. What happened to the Crimetron?
She is on an extended weekend getaway with the Bluster Blaster machine.
Oh no.
Ouch.
Rip.
How's Kurt taking it?
I only want her to be happy is all.
If we could disguise the DeSoto, we could use it as a Trojan horse to sneak into Max's body like a virus and take out any mind worms or whatever it is that's causing this whole thing.
Please don't mention Trojan horses, worms, or viruses around us.
What are you guys doing here?
We have pledged our prodigious processing power to devising an algorithm that will save the city, if not the entire universe.
You are welcome.
How's that
How long
plane
is that
coming?
going to take?
Estimating. Buffering. Time to completion 3.5 minutes.
Well, that's convenient. Only 3.5 minutes to come up with a solution to the whole thing?
Oh, God, no. It will take 3.5 minutes to come up with the estimate.
That's pretty good.
Have you guys got any ideas about how I can help Max?
Our breakthrough Destructo-Match technology can calculate the perfect points to place nuclear warheads for maximum destruction.
Okay, that's
with
not...
only
That's...
PG-13
We're calling that plan
levels of
2.
blood and gore.
That is one rabbit who will be multiplying into 1,000 smoldering pieces.
Oh dear. Pre-out.
Who needs that Crimetron anyway, am I right?
You shut your mouth. She was an angel designed in California and manufactured in heaven.
Alright, they don't feel like they're gonna be super helpful. You got anything for me,
At your
Federally?
service, Sam.
Oh. Yeah, probably should have, yeah.
You wouldn't know where I could get an egg, Mr. Featherly.
Oh, I see how this works. Everyone assumes that just because I happen to be poultry, of course I know where to score them some eggs.
It's for a good cause.
Very well. Bear in mind that this is strictly a one-time deal.
Noted.
Me. Unique New York, unique New York.
Where did we get the egg in, is it Chariot of the Dogs? Is that the one with them in it?
I can't do this with everyone watching me.
I don't think they're watching you, Mr. Featherly. There's a giant monster attacking the city.
It's good of you to say so, Sam, but my magnetism and stage presence are undeniable. I simply cannot do this until everyone turns around and gives me some privacy.
It's like that guy from Mystery Men who can only turn invisible if no one's watching.
Everyone to turn around and stop watching me.
Okay. How do I do that?
The real tragedy of Max turning into a giant monster is that this attack is exactly the kind of thing he would love to watch.
Picture an egg.
Picture an egg.
Any luck yet, Sam?
Hey, turn.
Would you guys mind giving Mr. Featherly a little privacy?
Is he going to do something fascinating and disgusting?
We have got to see this. For, science.
Why are you still working on that destabilizer, Mama Bosco? You got your body back.
I'm still trying to find a way to get Dr. Norrington back to his own dimension.
Yog Sagoth is my lord and master always, but I think we could use some time apart.
So far, I've only been able to manage quick jumps of around 15 seconds or so.
Sounds neat. I want to watch.
Is this something? When did she get her hair back, by the way? Okay, so that is a way to distract them.
Very well. Keep me updated. Yes, sir.
Turn around, Bright Eyes.
Wow, would you look at that, Agent Superball?
I see nothing of interest, sir.
You were only turned around for like 5 seconds.
That was enough, sir. I saw more than you can imagine. Worlds within worlds.
Really,
Is
though?
that a trio of time-traveling mariachis at the front door?
It's much too early for my birthday.
Whoops, my mistake. It was just a bunch of regular mariachis.
Did someone say...
Someone say...
birthday?
That one was really on that one. In fairness, I was going to do that whether or not you redeemed that, but that was really impressive.
How bad's the damage, Superball?
As damage goes, it's rather spectacular, sir. The ex-president is the most horrible and destructive creature ever to enter New York, not counting those coming from Long Island. We've had to quarantine the entire island of Manhattan.
So you're saying it's just us, alone against some colorful street gangs and a sewer system full of bloodthirsty chuds, unless we can escape from New York?
Actually, the chuds have been deployed to secure the perimeter, sir. A little tolerance and appreciation would be nice.
Oh boy, another interesting thing.
This is growing tiresome, sir.
So none of those actually gave me any additional clues as to how to deal with that. I feel like I should just be able to turn
See
the
anything
cops.
familiar?
Just the usual screaming void past the brink of infinity. We'll have to try again later.
Please press or say the number of the question you want to ask.
Look, you guys, it's Ada Lovelace.
We're sorry. We're unable to turn around or move for any reason.
Why is
My
that?
lack of swivel attachments.
Why? These hands. Like, none of them is so large that I would not be able to move them. I understand why Super Ball is an obstacle, and I get that my free space is paperweight in Mama Bosco. But like, they're like, oh, I can't move, which like raises like a ton of questions about logistically how many previous episodes of Sam and Max have happened. But we'll set that all aside. But like, if we simply turn them where we want them to go, doesn't that mean that they then can't turn back and look at Mr. Featherly? Like, isn't that a boon and not a problem? It'd be easier to pick up Mr. Featherly and move him. You would think. I don't think the game's going to let us do that. That's not how adventure game works.
How are we doing on that egg, Mr. Featherly? Can I get you a magazine or something?
It's called koi cloaca, Sam.
Gross.
It's a perfectly legitimate medical condition.
It is, and it is gross.
Help you until you get everyone to turn around and stop watching me.
Well, I have some sense of the things I need to do, and not a very clear sense of how I will accomplish them. Maybe I did have an interesting suggestion before. I don't think that the pork scent was indicative that our car contained pork products, but it might. Maybe put a box on top of Mr. Featherly. You're definitely thinking too much like a Earth person, and not enough like a cartoon dog or rabbit.
Now, where'd that...
If I could get enough speed, I bet I could jump this thing straight into...
Sorry, Sam. The modifications I've made to the DeSoto make it perfect for traveling through Max's innards, but it can't travel on land.
What's the suction cups doing?
Who needs espresso beans? I'm riding the natural high of mayhem and mystery solving.
So Sal's not currently back. Grandpa seems gone. Okay, I have an idea. What if I Indiana Jones swap the microphone with a corn dog? They have a roughly similar shape, and that would potentially draw the attention of Max Beast to knock over the vegetable oil to where I want it to be.
Sam, dear boy, you'll be damned if I let you continue to interrupt me.
Not sure I have much say in whether or not that's true.
Yeah, we're getting a little shine off your horns there. It's throwing off the white balance.
Intolerable. Makeup?
Okay. Yep.
Sound check!
Check. Succubus. Is this thing on? Yipe!
Singular yipe! Okay. It's been added to my mixing bowl of sorts.
Are you okay, Satan? That was quite a fall.
I've had worse, but I can tell when I'm not wanted. Come on, Jurgen.
Oh, thank wickedness, that nightmare is finally over.
Let's go back to hell.
Oh, right.
Okay. 2 down, sort of. Still have corn dogs, which is interesting. There goes the button of my energy. So I need to get the corn... I mean, if I could just drive the truck into the puddle, that'd be something. The egg is an issue. Not totally sure what we're doing about those pork sphincters. Really did bring everyone back. I mean, I certainly appreciate the effort. I really don't think Bosco comes back, but I might be wrong about that. Really, I wish I knew more about what happened there. Bosco was so essential to the early games, too. I mean, clearly they managed to get Sybil back somehow or other. I just don't like the whole... Like, so much of the fun of the Telltale Games was, like, expanding the Sam and Max universe. And then they just, like, they cut it down so harshly for Season 3. And it's not just that, like, they didn't add more characters. They, in fact, added several new characters, but they, like, got rid of the existing ones they already had a relationship with. I don't actually think... Oh, wait. There is a used delivery truck.
Selflessly devoting his truck to the war effort.
You take the wheels, and I'll check the cab to see if there's a radio.
You'd have to be some kind of monster to loot an emergency vehicle in the middle of a war zone. Besides, I already tried it.
Interesting. Why would used Giant Max's hitbox be over here inside the truck? Oh, no, it's following him outside of view. That's fair, I guess.
Grandpa Stinky's been selflessly devoting his truck to the war.
Does have a used hitbox.
Any more ideas, Fake Max?
I can dispense hints for the cost of one delicious corn dog.
Forget it. I'm not wasting these things on you cheap floaty knockoffs.
Oh, then sleep.
It's a familiar spell.
Oof! That was quite a kick.
Looks like the DeSoto is all set for intra-lagomorph travel. Now we just need a way to get it in Max's mouth. How do you guys keep that flame going so long anyway?
We are fueled by the inextinguishable flame of human imagination! And kerosene.
I don't see any kerosene. Where's the supply line?
That's none of your damn...
Nobody steals my little buddy's catchphrase.
It's interesting that I can interact with them. It's possible I could try giving a corn dog for a hint.
Settles it. From now
I don't think we're there
I'm
yet.
only taking cases against bad guys vulnerable to gunfire.
There's so few options that I definitely feel like I'm missing something obvious.
Senseless vandalism has its place, but this isn't it. Who needs espresso beans? I'm riding the natural high of mayhem and mystery solving.
I don't think I ended the last chapter with a bunch of espresso beans. Where did these come from? It seems like their most logical use would be to help rejuvenate someone who is under the effect of the sleep spell of Monster Max. It was the Monster Max. But I don't think I have anyone that fits that description. Like, I could try giving them to Super Ball, just because I don't know what to do with him.
This case gets really boring later on.
Well, still solidifying. Yeah, but he like didn't show up in the alleyway again, and so I'm not sure where to find him. And since I can't talk to him, I also don't know what he like needs / wants.
Please press or save.
I hope you guys are being careful. I hear there's a particularly nasty virus going around.
I swear I have been careful. It was only that one time.
Can never be too careful, guys. Better run a scan or something.
We're sorry. This will require us to go through a full reboot. We would be unavailable for approximately 30 to 60 seconds.
We'll find some way to manage without you.
Shutdown commencing. Will I dream?
Just hurry it up.
Any luck yet, Sam?
I want to see you use that dimensional destabilizer again.
In due
Yeah, getting you guys probably a good idea that much, but I don't think we need it quite yet.
Good so far.
Perhaps if we were to hold on to something.
Ah, very well. Let's try it again.
Is it possible that this can't be a timing puzzle, can it?
I am.
How are we doing on that?
I simply can't.
Very well. Keep me updated. Yes, sir.
Ooh, is that a rooster laying an egg?
Where?
That's so stupid. That's incredibly stupid.
It's going to take forever to get my
That's brilliant. That's like pure Sam and Max stupidity.
See that, sir. Ask him if he'll lay another one.
Maybe some other time.
he distracts him by telling him to go look at exactly the thing I don't want him to look at. Well, I got that egg.
See anything familiar?
Just the usual screaming void past the brink of infinity. We'll have to try again later.
Picture an egg.
Picture an egg and... Yeah, that guy definitely pictured an egg. He had to, because he thought he was going to see one, and he didn't. You could try using corn dog more. One corn dog was enough to get his attention. Maybe he'll pick the truck up. Maybe. I mean, there's no logical way to guarantee that the truck would end up where I wanted it to, but that did work for the vegetable oil. I do feel like the fact that I have the corn dogs is relevant. Honestly, I think I would have been more inclined to try it on the Max head if he didn't suggest that he would give me a hint for it. Sort of a broken adventure game person.
One recipe to rule them all and one egg for binding.
Nerd!
Lol.
No, these are too delicious to waste. I'm not wasting this golden deliciousness on those cheap imposter men. No, these are too delicious to waste.
Doesn't seem like that works, although that's a pretty good idea. Dive into the oil pit while holding the corn dog to distract him. Don't think that'll work. I still really have no idea. The whole espresso bean thing is very peculiar to me. Let me go back up on the roof and just make sure there's nothing left to do there. Maybe we could jump down into the alley and find Sal that way. Well, seeing as I can't get him to pick up the truck in the first place, I don't think that matters. I did use it on Giant Max, and on Imposter Max, and on Truck. Using it on Self would just have him eat me, which isn't quite right, because I need the car, and probably Sybil. Hey, Cotillion, welcome to the stream, how's it going? You may appreciate this. I wore the King and John shirt today, largely because Max has become a Cthulhian horror, but also because this week the Delta Green campaign that the Glass Cannon podcast did finally wrapped up. It's like a 3-year endeavor, and they did run into the King and John. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's good up here anymore. Let's go back now. Smell the mystery. See, there's like a big stick sort of poking out of here. Doesn't seem like I could use that to like vault the fence or anything.
Sal? Never mind.
What if I like...
I'd better keep these for when...
What if I like...
Senseless vandalism has its place, but...
I don't even want to hear that but. What stupid but?
No, these are too Grandpa Stinky's been so...
Actually, did I hit all the hitboxes on the truck? Maybe I didn't do...
No, these are too delicious to waste. No, these are too delicious to waste.
I did definitely do the maxes.
No, these are too delicious to waste.
The wind chime sounds? I don't hear wind chime sounds. Is someone else hearing wind chime sounds? Am I having a stroke? Or am I not having a stroke?
Everything checks out here.
No, these are too delicious to waste.
Try use on self. I don't think... You don't always have a self hitbox by the nature of this game. I don't appear to have one currently. I I mean, relatively speaking, the cornmeal is really close. I haven't exactly figured out the sequence to make that happen. Where am I gonna get all those pig sphincters? Try to keep a listen for them wind chimes. But I don't know that I'm hearing it. Is there another button in the item menu like for the fudge sickles? I mean, there is for the espresso beans, but it doesn't do anything. And there is for the recipe. There is apparently for the box.
Something smells good.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, obviously like 20 minutes have passed and my busted PS5 controller I haven't bothered to replace is still junk. How about we wave the corn dog?
Max, here, boy.
Yeah, okay. You got there. Now I need to just sort of, do I want to eat it or wave it? I want to eat it. Think he'll get mad and throw the truck now? No. Close enough. I mean, I think there's like occasional like xylophone backtrack. Maybe that's the thing? Gotta get those delicious pig sphincters.
We're going to need to make that digest.
If I could get enough speed, I bet I could.
And we could try getting him to throw the DeSoto in, but then I won't be in the DeSoto, which feels problematic.
Corn dogs. They're good, and good for you.
Last time he shook the truck. I don't really know what to expect here. Okay, that time was more like what I expected him to do the first time.
Now, how am I going to find a way to heat this up?
Oh, that's right.
The potion is completed, my brothers! We must feed the host. Blessed corn dogs! Last one in's a stinking parasite!
I don't know.
Beautiful.
I mean, clearly Neko perceived that as the thing to do. I still feel like when it says that I need a lot of meat, something that smells like meat, even if it says I don't know, it's a stretch for me. Can I talk to Shiver? Or is she gone forever? Is it just me now? It's a little weird, right, Keen? Like, it's far from the worst puzzle we've had in our Telltale experience. There were parts of that I thought worked really well, but like I feel like typically when you're doing like an adventure game checklist, you get like one shortcut, or like you have to have your game model sort of be about like bending the rules hard all the time. Oh, you're not the source of the chimes? Fair enough. I can't tell you how many times I've done something like that. Sniper Justin, welcome. Think we're about to get eaten?
Put your shoes on. It's time to leave.
Disgusting!
Paperweight, don't let any of it get in my mouth.
Uh-oh. Hey, Mametrons, I found a suspicious-looking corn dog just lying here.
It's like lying in a
Yeah, we're about to get eaten.
vomit.
Max is, he's Godzilla size.
Commencing bomb disposal. Gotta get that boom, boom, boom.
All right, let's do this.
It's funny because they're like, it's slightly less dated, which is still sort of true. We had to turn our car into a weird inside car for doing interspace stuff, and then we had to turn it into a corn dog so that Max would eat it. And now we're going to get eaten, probably. It's another episode where I feel like I'd say the intro sequence is weirdly timed and placed. That was an interesting credit. I don't remember what that refers to, but I won't draw more attention to it if you didn't catch it yourself. Should have happened an hour ago. Yeah, probably. Especially since I think we've already like written some of the characters who appeared out of the rest of the chapter. Well, I don't know, there's some spoilers in there for some reason. And yet, like, now that's like canonically we're progressing the story even though we're still in the intro sequence. That's like a weird way to do that too. 70s montage music. It is, yeah. The font and music are very similar to Space 1999. I'll be honest, that's one I don't know. I know I've heard of it.
Well, here we are in Max's stomach.
Ruminate! Ruminate! Trespassers will be digested!
Ah, cram it, Flame Brain.
GI to brain, GI to brain. Trespassers in the stomach. They look quite delicious.
Fascinating. The psychic feedback from the dark dimension has planted an image in our minds, causing us to perceive the creature's organs as if they were an actual kitchen.
No, this is pretty much what Max's insides have always looked like.
We've got to get up to the brain so we can get out of here, Sam. If we're gonna save Max, we can't waste any time. Plus, I really have to go to the bathroom.
There's probably an organ for that, but I don't think any one of us wants to think about it.
Now craving.
More corn dogs. One is too many. 100 is never enough.
I mean...
There's no need to make him want coffee beans. I can save a lot of time and go directly to the source.
I just want it to be useful, because they just, like, forced me to have it for some reason.
This must be where Max stores all the nutritious food that enters his gaping maw before he digests it. I wonder if I should open it.
He's still got
it's full of
milk
nightmares.
he drank in 1976.
That answers that question.
Man, the smell. I guess this still really should have gone before they set off. That, I know that's true. Just go in the corner, he'll never notice. It's probably also true.
This must be how Max digests stuff.
Like the tender morsels of wayward travelers.
Ugh. I'm an elder god, and even I found that creepy.
Dr. Norrington, what can we expect to see in here now that Max has become a horrible, twisted abomination escaped from the mouth of madness? No offense.
None taken. Internally, your compatriot should look the same as he always has, just more tentacly. We save the truly bizarre stuff for the outside of our bodies, because it's scarier that way.
If I remember my high school biology, this tube leads up to the brain.
Why is
it's helpfully labeled?
He just ate us, so he must be going into a food coma.
That's not good. Even when he's not a colossal monster, Max's food comas can last for weeks.
Well, but that's probably, I mean, if he continues to rampage, he'll have multiple nuclear weapons fired at him, so going into like a weeks-long sleep's probably a better alternative.
Digestive enzymes, stomach acids, meat and flesh tenderizers? I never figured Max was such a gourmet.
Is that the same spice rack from what was that called back in like season 1, episode 2? The like broke man kitchen or whatever.
Looks like this vent goes directly to Max's nose, so he can smell food while he's digesting it.
Biology is disgustingly fascinating.
How are we going to get out of here and up to the brain?
He's still trying to digest the DeSoto dog, and that's just empty calories. We need to find a way to get a rush of blood or endorphins or something up to his gray matter.
So, if we just put espresso beans directly in the food processor, which is supposed to be his digestive system, he'll get a caffeine boost.
Hope this works. There's enough caffeine in here to make even a film blogger get up and move.
But why did we have this?
Uh-oh.
Hang on, everybody!
I'm like genuinely pretty annoyed that we just like had this important item. They like couldn't put it anywhere that made it seem organic.
Ladies and horrible monsters first.
It just appeared in my inventory without so much as a kiss my foot or have an apple.
But I'm a horrible monster!
He's so upset.
Last stop, the cerebral cortex.
I suppose that Max's brain always looks like a living room, yes?
Well, Max's host all kinds of weird parasites, and he likes to be a good host.
Aha! Well, there's your problem.
Greed galloping Golgi and lipstick on a Vespa with a leather-bound day planner.
It's mind worms, right? I bet Featherly $50 it was mind worms.
It's a tumor.
Damn it!
Seems to be teeming with dark energy as well. Still, once we've removed it, your friend should pop right round to normal again. Assuming that's what you really want.
Why is it glowing? Sam, come here and take a closer look.
I feel like something bad's gonna happen when I do that.
What if I touch it here, he'll start speaking with an Australian accent. Yow! It shocked me!
The brain synapses are firing at an alarming rate. The voltage is quite high.
Whoa.
Danger. Danger.
Get away, fake Max.
High voltage.
Do you find my warmth alarming, Sam?
The freaky creature is correct, Sam. We won't be able to operate until you can cut off the power to the brain.
That sounds problematic.
Medulla oblongata acts as kind of a circuit breaker for the brain. If you can cut it off, we can get to work.
Okay then, experts. Where do I find the medulla oblongata?
Perhaps behind this door?
I mean, we can all just take random guesses. Hey, cool,
This
a record
must be
player.
for Max's inner monologue.
Still analog, for the warm, rich sounds you can't get from digital.
I guess it would help if I actually put a record on this thing.
Hey, cool, more tentacles. Hey, cool, stomach and arm.
Must be a cellular phone.
Oh, I get it. That's not a
This
particularly good
low-tech
joke.
optic nerve will give me a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to literally see the world through Max's eyes. Nothing special.
I feel like that could be a good joke if it was used in the right context. Just being like, we're on a cellular level and it's a phone. Like, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. The idea is
Sam,
good. It's
we've
just,
got to take care of this tumor. You can go exploring later.
Alright, well, I guess I must door. I know, we'll call them poplars. Oh, okay. I love you, bye-bye.
Where did they?
Aw, me too, huh? I hope I'm not in the bathroom.
Did everybody get all staticky and find themselves in the stomach again?
I detected a spike in psychic energy coming from the monster. Is everyone okay?
We appear to be in some sort of game room.
You are now at the mercy of the brain, Butterball.
Max must be using his psychic powers to keep us from entering the brain.
Yes, they're very fussy at this age. He's just looking for attention. Better to ignore him.
Okay, that's dumb. But I've got a better idea. If we could put enough electrical current in Max's body, it'd temporarily short out his powers and let us inside the brain.
But that would take a voltage of at least 46 hellijoules. The only place in the city with that much power is the electric plant down in Battery Park.
Then we've got to find some way to get control of Max's body and take him downtown.
So I need a replica of a power plant that's small enough for me to put it in the now craving zone. Huh? Use tube. Predecessor to YouTube. There's a lot more like actually tube based though. Less successful. Oh, hang on.
This must be Max's auditory nerve. Nothing but static. I guess there's nothing around Max right now worth hearing. It's Max's collection of ideas for novels, in audiobook on vinyl form. Glad to see he's keeping track of them. He's always coming up with these things, but I assume they just flew out of his tiny, oversaturated brain.
Use Are You There, Great Bear Spirit? Use A Killing Comes to Murdersburg. Use The Happenstance at Ghastly Manor. Use the Eli Whitney Dilemma. I think a Killing Comes to Murdersburg.
A Killing Comes to Murdersburg. A Flint paper mystery. Oh, this is the hard-boiled noir fanfiction Max was telling me about.
Oh, can I just have them all? Gotta have them all.
It's Max's heartfelt Inuit coming-of-age story. Are you there, Great Bear Spirit? It's me, Canuchlug. The Happenstance at Ghastly Manor. It's a loosely autobiographical story of psychic horror.
This is also a very Sam and Max bit. Like, a list of stupid things that are then elaborated on and are even more stupid.
That's Max's gripping historical fiction thriller, The Eli Whitney Dilemma. Also, coincidentally, the name of Max's experimental fusion jazz band.
There's nothing else on this screen. Why have we not heard that band? Had a lot going on.
And poured himself another fifth of pineapple schnapps. He just killed a great white shark with his bare hands and was about to skin it to upholster another different chair when she walked in. She was tall, real tall, and pretty too. Plus, she had 2 eyes, which were both locked on Flint.
2 eyes, so no eye patch, huh?
Zack ran down the hallway. The vision's coming fast and furious now. A dumbwaiter spraying torrents of pus. An ocelot wearing lederhosen. A beautiful red-haired woman gets a paper cut on her thumb. But when she tries to use the spray antiseptic, the bottle starts screaming at her in Tagalog. Whatever the visions meant, one thing was clear. Something very strange had happened in room 415.
Well, not immediately getting a sense of how these might be useful, and not getting a response from the body at large, at least that the game is cluing us into, which is a little surprising.
Canuchlug wiped the last remaining ichor and blubber from his carving knife, then sat down on the one patch of ice not covered by walrus intestines. Why so sad? Asked Paco, his faithful deer-tick companion. It was a clean kill. I know, sobbed Canuchlug, but there was no one here to see it.
Ah, made him sad. Did I want that?
I bet it works this time.
I mean, I didn't think that'd work, but I felt like I needed to try regardless. Is it gonna send me to a random place or always the stomach? Perhaps always the stomach.
There's no way I'm getting inside that brain until we can get control of Max's body.
Well, I don't know what sad as emotion does for us in the moment. I think I should go visit other body places. Arm tube. wonder what if your friend was a Voltron?
Another party member! Oh, this is gonna be the best campaign ever!
Did we hear all the records? Nah, there is... We saved one.
There you are, Sam.
I want to get a sense of some of the other stuff, since that didn't really do anything obvious.
Yes, we are standing on a network of neurotransmitters, and by forming biogenic connections between them, we can relay electrical impulses from dendrites in the brain to muscle
The
tissue.
short version, point.
It's Twister. It's
I can
Twister.
step on these shapes to control the arms.
Great, let's get to it so we can pick up huge stuff.
You'll have to activate the manual override first. The impulses come through that machine over there.
Okay.
Nah, I can't condone smoking for anyone.
Don't smoke, kids. Unless you're on fire. Then it's only natural.
Senseless vandalism has...
I'm distressed by the fact that they continue to let me have the gun and never do any, like, gratuitous violence.
I can't go shooting up Max's vital body parts. At least not since the city passed that 3 strikes law. Max has got some nerve.
Oh, I wanna play!
Wait your turn, Fake Max. It's time to watch a master at work. Huh, this is pretty much the worst video game I've ever played.
You have to read the command off the screen, Sam. I cannot see it from here.
Left leg brass knuckles.
Let me know if you need extra appendages, Paperweight. I have tentacles to spare.
I guess the brain has stopped trying to work against us. I was concerned since we're so close to the speech center.
This is going to be easy. Left foot bacon. Wait a second. I didn't say that.
Got it! Are you sure that was right? Perhaps you should try again.
This is going really well. Keep listening to what I say.
That's not how the speech center of the brain works, but okay. Left hand... I don't know what, like, the opposite of bomb is. I guess it just has to be bacon?
Right foot bomb.
If you say so.
Ah, now we're getting somewhere.
No, it's my turn now.
We will need to complete 2 more circuits to activate the manual override.
That's like, you don't have to be on the ground. You've only done 1. That's not how Twister works. This is right foot. Well, there's only 1 right at all, so I guess it's this one.
Brass knuckles.
Got it.
This is just like the final boss battle against Agamemnon in Ultra Shining Quest 2, where you have to use your holy katana 3 times against his exposed other sack to complete the ritual of quickening and...
Don't listen to him, Sam. Stay awake and stay the course.
Left leg bullet.
Right hand flail.
Almost there.
Smashing job, Sam.
Hooray.
Right hand brass knuckles.
Roger that.
What have you done, Sam?
The arms! They are spasming out of control!
I've been hit. This wasn't supposed to happen.
Hey, cool.
Error. I'm so caught up in you. Error.
Oh no! The radioactive brain core is exposed!
Your head will collapse, and there's nothing in it. And you'll ask yourself, who let the dogs out?
I think that went exactly according to plan. That was contingency plan 1, right?
Dentist chasing you with a hatchet, being loaded into the car for a trip to the vet. Oh, delicious.
Sam, you must wake up!
What?
Can't wake up. Wake me up inside. Inside Max.
I must protest. I was savoring a most delectable nightmare.
The radiation is too dangerous for you, Sam. You'll pass it out.
Evidently, Paperweight and I are immune. Looks like you're stuck with me for another 100 years, eh, Paperweight?
Yes, my master.
We'll go back and resume our studies, but you must find someone else to operate those arm controls.
Who do I know who's immune to radiation?
It feels like that's not a trick question. Cops? Alright, here's that fourth record for you.
Professor Robert von Ungwent flashed his ID card at the receptionist of the National Institute of Historical Science. The Professor von Ungwent? Hissed the receptionist. World-famous expert in pre-industrial farming implements? Thank God you've come! Suddenly, in walked Dr. Daniel Delinament, head of the Institute's Ancient Mysteries Department. Robert, you may be my arch-rival and nemesis, but only you can crack the code of the cotton gin.
Well, it feels like Great Bear Spirit is probably our best bet and didn't really get a reaction from any of the others. Legs time.
Looks like some kind of exercise room?
Can't help but remember the word radiation.
Oh,
Wait, what
hey,
was
Sam.
that from? I remember that being like a whole thing, and I can't remember the source of that now.
I had to rewire some of the nerve endings, but now all I have to do is walk on this treadmill, and we can make Max walk wherever we want.
Great work, Sybil. That's about the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
What was that?
I didn't say that out loud. Consecrated Kreskin on a communion wafer. She's reading my mind.
I'm not reading your mind, Sam. The brain must be broadcasting your thoughts or something.
That's
Just
such a
ignore
weird
it and
interpretation
get to
of
work.
brain.
Come tell me when you're ready to start moving.
As was the speech center overriding what a different person is saying. Like, that's just not how brain does. It's the granddaughter in Siberia 3. Oh man, Siberia 3. I have to say, on the short list of things to do in 2025, I was considering putting some work in January to try to get the Siberia games running. They are complete dog water, and they're, like, ancient now. But, like, we could do the whole run. There's, like... I think there's, like, 2... maybe, like, 3 Siberia games I haven't played now because they, like, decided to make it into an intellectual property despite it not having legs at all. One of them's like a spin-off. The other one I think might just have like entirely separate characters, which really feels like it defeats the purpose of calling it a Siberia game. Ooh, an anatomical chart.
Visible Max. Oh, that's convenient. There's a "You Are Here" marker. Fuel for the disgusting machine that is Max's body. It's just hormones.
Oh, maybe it is just hormones. I just wish there was somebody who understood what I'm going through.
That's, like, not what I meant, but okay.
I always suspected Max was using performance enhancers. Max has really got to cut down on the carbs.
There's a tube that goes to Mystery Box, and I have concerns. And also
I could put in
questions.
a few hours on this thing, no problem. Starting next month, at the latest. I'm just too busy with work right now.
Don't worry about it, Sam. I've got it all under control. Just give me the signal, and we're good to go.
There's definitely... I have to somehow find a way to apply the, like, telepathy to some end in this room. There's no reason that would just, like, exist for no reason. Oh, of
Finally
course.
seeing it in person. This must be where Max keeps his junk.
Nah, that's a couple of stories down.
There's gotta be something in here to take my mind off Sybil's condition.
What a weird thing to focus on.
Is
Oh my
that
god, the car
our
bomb
roach
game.
farm? No way. I'd forgotten all about that. And it looks like it is. One of the eggs is about to hatch.
Literally is junk.
It's beautiful.
I mean, literally his junk is a few layers down.
Now I am, little champion. Now I am.
Okay. But look, oh man, a bunch of this stuff is from Hit the Road. The bucket of fish from the Gator Golf scenario.
I was talking about wieners.
Absolutely talking about wieners. And also pig sphincters. The car bomb game is the optional mini game that's basically just Battleship.
That old game is from when we were going through our self-conscious, edgy, politically incorrect phase.
Yeah, when did that stop, anyway?
I'll let you know as soon as it does.
It's a really big chocolate bar.
I knew it. Max has been trying to poison me. Luckily, I've been eating enough fudgy freezes to build up a chocolate immunity.
Why is it a horsey bar? I mean, I know why it's a horsey bar, but at the same time, why is it a horsey bar?
Baby shower balloons. Once I show these to Sybil, she'll definitely be...
I turn into a cactus.
Max's brain is really starting to chap my hide.
You don't know why it's a horsey bar or why it's a horsey bar? Well, it's a horsey bar because calling it a Hershey bar would be trademark infringement and get the creators of the game in trouble. Now, why it's a horsey bar, I don't know. Meatball
Max has been
sandwich.
withholding evidence from another case. That'd cause all kinds of messy legal entanglements, if we hadn't already blown all those mafia guys up. Max got me that set of mariachi frogs for my birthday.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's a real exciting story. What are you waiting for? Pulitzer?
I appreciate the fact that even though they don't appear again, which in a sense they shouldn't, the characters in the game still want them to show up.
I'm always going around leaving junk scattered throughout the time stream, and Max is there to pick up after me. We make a good team. Hey, it's a big nest of spare audio-video cables. These are just what I need for... Well, that's about the worst thing that could have happened.
Hard to
Watch it!
figure out. Sure, there's some order of operations. I hesitate to call it logical. Oh my god, you can just like casually ricochet off stuff like you're an actual Roomba. This is along the lines of what I expected.
What's happening?
Hang on.
Help me!
Whoops. Oh well, any cockroach foster son of mine is plenty resilient enough to survive a good vacuuming.
Yeah, man, having you ever seen Wall-E? I'm sure the cockroach is fine.
Ouch!
How are we gonna get them cables, though?
Oh, come on, Max's brain. I was just gonna look at him.
Is there anything in this room that desires or requires a cactus?
Ever since he became president, Max has had to carry his birth certificate and all his dental records with him at all times.
To prove he was born in America?
To prove that he was actually born.
Because you should stay as a Roomba forever. Love Roombas, they're cute. Roombas are pretty cute. They are, however, plotting to overthrow us. It can't be overstated.
It's the Freelance Police Handbook for Racial and Cultural Sensitivity. The commissioner gave it to us because he said we keep reducing people to obvious stereotypes.
Yeah, you know how those British Columbians are.
Yeah, but the commissioner's one of the good ones. It's Max's gigantic money-filled sock. I thought he was lying about that.
You're just too cynical. That's the kind of change I can believe in.
It's Max's
You're just too
I've never actually seen Max buy a gun. I think his body just naturally secretes them when needed.
Season 1 stuff. There's a hitbox that's just called Season 1
Hey,
stuff.
I remember those cases with the thing and that other thing with the stuff.
Don't sweat it, Sam. We don't remember any of that stuff either.
Our old souvenir from the Mafia-free casino. I got to keep the tail end in my inventory.
If I use the tube, will I continue? No, okay. I don't know how I would go about getting the balloons. Are the balloons just a red herring? Is the idea that I simply needed to have the cockroach so I could relate to Sybil so that I could have a conversation with her without upsetting her or something? Activate the
Don't worry,
cockroach.
Sam Jr. Your foster paw will take care of the Max apocalypse with no problem.
Who's worried? I'm a roach. I could survive a nuclear winter.
Hiya, Sybil. My God, she's huge.
What was that?
Oh, I didn't say anything. What is she carrying? A baby or a yak calf?
Excuse me? Are you calling me fat?
Fat doesn't cover it. Come to think of it, a circus tent wouldn't cover it.
Yikes.
I'll have you know that I am carrying
Single
the miracle
yike.
of life, the promise of a new generation, and the affirmation of hope. What's your excuse?
Why don't you hop on that treadmill?
Oh, so you're not even trying to be subtle with the fat comments anymore.
Come on, Sybil. It's going to take all of us working together to save Max. And by the looks of it, you could be doing the work of 5 or 6 of us at least.
You just don't understand what I'm going through, bringing new life into the world.
Well, getting her to help is turning out to be at least as painful as giving birth.
Oh, God.
It's not my fault, Sybil. The brain is broadcasting my thoughts.
Maybe it's better this way, now that I know what you really think.
No, it's twisting my thoughts. I think you're just as lovely as the day I met you. Don't
Uh-oh.
think fat. Don't think fat. Can't you see what's happening, Sybil? The brain is trying to turn us against each other.
Maybe you're right, Sam. We should work together.
But not too close together, because her gravitational pull could flatten me like a pancake.
I mean, come on. Why would you? Why?
I think what you're doing is a really wonderful, beautiful thing, Sybil. As long as I don't have to see your mutant human statue offspring. It's very noble of you to bring a new life into the world and usher it to greatness. Or at least usher it into a dark basement or a carnival freak show to live out its freakish existence unseen by normal people. I'm not helping, am I?
Nope.
Okay, I should go.
See you around, Sybil. Maybe I can find something to make her less hysterical.
Can you believe this guy?
I find the entire situation to be very contrived and misogynistic.
I'm gonna go to Brain. And then I think I'm going to send my cockroach son into the legs. Or, yeah, the legs, right? No, we were in the legs. The arm. The other one. The radiation place. Radiation. Leviosa. What are we doing?
Okay, Sam Jr., I want you to make me proud and operate those arm controls.
I'm on it.
I guess she feels like she needs to make a tiny hat and tie for the cockroach son. That would be amazing.
Long. What happened?
I never learned to read.
Don't worry about it, little guy. But now I've got to find
Just
somebody
like a
who's
cat.
immune to radiation and literate.
That feels like too big an ask. That reminds me, I saw an ad on like YouTube for these little like crochet starter kits, and I almost got one. There was like a bundle of like summer hats, and I was like, when am I actually gonna like make them? But it was cute, I thought. It was like little accessories I could put on my guys. What do you like, never learn to read? We have a consensus. We never learned to read. I guess this reminds me of my reptile server. We had a Christmas pet competition. One of the children made tiny hats and Christmas cards for his beetles. How does one win that competition? Do you just get enough people to love your contribution?
I'm pretty sure these tentacles aren't normal for Max. Senseless vandalism has...
Oh! I have a stupid idea. What if I make Max crave cockroach, and then he eats Sal, who is both literate and immune to radiation? Is that something?
I love Sam Jr. like a daughter.
Hey!
But I'll admit he's an acquired taste.
Beetle Boy won because of the tiny hats.
Corn dogs.
I mean, tiny hats make everything better.
Madre de Dios! La cucaracha! We must gather delicious cockroaches for the host!
Okay. So... how do I, jumpstart that so that Sal shows up? Or what do I need to do to modify that so that Sal shows up? In fairness, part of the reason I was looking at that summer bundle is it also came with a turtle and a narwhal. But if I'm not gonna bother finishing one of those kits, I'm definitely not doing 6 of them. But there was the brief period of time where that was a fun thought. Still find it shocking to this day that cockroaches are actually edible. Well, Justin, I feel like edible is being applied in a rather subjective fashion there. I'm not gonna dispute it outright, but I'm not sure I consider them edible for me.
We made pretty good time getting to the stomach, considering all the traffic we ran into down the esophagus. Looks like this vent goes directly to Max's nose, so he can smell food while he's digesting it.
Biology is disgustingly fascinating.
Nothing special.
Cozy. Feel the warmth, Sam. Does it make you drowsy?
No, not
Cut
really.
it out.
How about now?
Still no.
Shoot the brain.
That's a surefire way to get my gun license and my medical license revoked.
Why do you have a medical license?
A Killing Comes to Murdersburg, a Flint paper mystery. Oh, this is the hard-boiled noir fanfiction Max was telling me about. The Happenstance at Ghastly Manor. It's a loosely autobiographical story of psychic horror.
Do I also need to change the internal monologue to make him hungry enough to eat a cockroach so that I can then send Sal, the big cockroach, to control his arm? Where there's an abundance of radiation?
Zach's heart was pounding as he put his ear against the door. Shuffling noises from the other side. He wasn't alone in the house. His hand trembled as he wrapped it around the handle, then summoned every ounce of his strength and courage to raise the axe above his head. The door splintered as he swung the axe again and again, ignoring the terrifying shrieks of, "Why are you doing this?" from the other side of the door.
I wonder if a trophy for this chapter is listening to all the available
Gotta help me, Flint
record
Panther, she
segments.
screamed hysterically. hysterically, sneezing into a frilly handkerchief while thinking about shoes and decorating. My father, the professor, has been kidnapped. If you don't find him, and fast, then the Belgians will get the plans for the mega-neutron bomb. Flint Paper spit out his schnapps in surprise. Mega-neutron bomb? Even I can't handle something that big. For this, I'll need to call in the big guns. My best friend, Max.
I mean, you did call that a fan fiction in the description.
Knutschluck was 13, and his body was going through a strange transformation. Hair had begun to pop up in weird places, and a line of
He's becoming a teen wolf.
had sprouted along his spine. Why so sad? Asked Paco. These changes are perfectly normal for an Inuit your age. I know, sobbed Knutschluck, but I was hoping for leathery bat-like wings.
Really seems like the only one he cares about is this record. I don't know what that does for me, but it does something. Does it distract him from the legs? It's unpleasant to exist in this room. So speaking of trophies, I was thinking of possibly spending tomorrow trying to like hop around the various Sam & Max games and just get the trophies that we haven't gotten. It's just kind of like a way to revisit them in a super casual stream. I don't know if that would be interesting to people.
Maybe Sybil's calmed down. Holy Mount Rushmore! Did she actually get bigger?
Nice.
Okay, it's really? Obviously not good in here. It's bad in here. Reading through the list, there's a lot. I mean, I think we have none for Season 3. Does Season 3 have more than the others? I thought the other ones all had 2 per episode. One for beating it, which we obviously would have. And then, like, one for doing some other thing. And we have a few of those. But not... obviously not all of them.
Senseless vandalism has its place, but this... Ever since he became president...
Ooh, Oops Diabetes cereal. That's a good one. I don't sell that anymore for obvious reasons.
Is it heartwarming or creepy that Max keeps a shrine to his dead great-grandfather inside his own body?
If Max craves cockroaches, maybe you'll be able to see Sal on the TV. I'm pretty sure I checked the TV after I changed the craving, and it was exactly the same as before. Sam just said something like, not interesting.
Ah, I remember that old bucket of fish. Things were so much simpler back then.
Really? Because I remember them being a lot more complicated.
Well, it was a different kind of complexity.
And a lot longer, too. Plus the voices were...
Okay, Fake Max, we get it.
That's pretty good. I appreciate that. But let me play Carbon.
We were going... Max got me that set of mariachi frogs for my...
Oh, it's so stupid. It's like my favorite thing. I'm going to tell you the ones in here to save time in the next stream. No, that's fine.
Curse my lack of suction.
I mean, unless you think it would take, like, a particularly long time. I don't know how much I intend... I mean, like, we don't really have to go through the story for anything tomorrow, so we can just sort of do them. I can try knocking some other stuff over. I don't think it'll work. There are chapter selects. Or there were for the other ones. Pretty sure they still exist for Season 3.
You gotta bring the whole place down!
We did it to get... you may remember the arduous journey to get the...
Hey, watch
The one for the Frankenstein monster in season 2.
You gotta bring the whole place down!
For whatever reason, I was really dedicated to doing that in the course of that stream, so we just, like, kept going back. So I haven't figured out what purpose the cactus has. I feel like it must have a purpose.
Oh, come on, Max's brain.
It can't be directly related to the cables, because trying to interact with the cables causes you to Roomba. What else?
It's the freelance police.
Yeah, you know how to...
Yeah, but the commissioner...
You try using... I guess I haven't tried using the cockroach directly on Sybil. I kind of thought the idea was that, like, having the relationship of the cockroach would do that. Or then when I had the thought that the cockroach could control the legs, that something dramatic and upsetting would happen, and then we would relate more, but that didn't work out either.
It's Max's gigantic money-filled sock.
You're just too cynical. That's the kind of change...
Our old souvenir from the... Hey, I remember those cakes. Max has been...
I don't know. I might just be too stupid. It really feels like I ought to be able to do something in here, but it is not occurring to me.
Is it heartwarming or creepy that...
Is chocolate cactus a thing? That's interesting. Because the last time I interacted with it, I hadn't turned into something. I didn't realize it turns you back into Sam. What is that good for? Boy, I don't know what's going on in here. Yeah, I mean, I could try going to pick up Sam Jr. and use it directly on Sybil. I think that there's at least one more step to that puzzle, which is why I was content to, like, leave him on the craving plate. But also, there's clearly at least one more step to that Halloween process. Stomach. Stomache. There's a cactus asset duplicated this room. Does that mean something I care about?
Now craving. How you doing, little guy?
I actually like it better than the inside of your jacket. No offense.
My doctor says I sweat a perfectly normal amount for a dog my size.
Just for fun.
Senseless vandalism.
Oh, I can't even make him crave gun? That's stupid. Max should crave gun by default. He says, mirror to the puzzle seem less obvious in this episode. I don't think it's you. It's possible I'm being really stupid. I think they're deliberately a little more obtuse as like a final boss kind of scenario. I don't feel like that was true in the other seasons as well. This does feel like maybe a step above even that. Or alternatively, I am stupid also. Por que no los dos and all that. The thing that's tripping me up, I think, is like I feel like I'm getting these little like components of puzzle solutions, but like not a lot of direction as to how to like get things to like work together to actually accomplish anything.
What is that? A roach? Ugh, gross.
Well, I never.
Don't give it to me, Sam. Take it outside and kill it.
Don't listen to her, Sam Jr. The mean lady is on heavy medication and doesn't know what she's talking about.
Wait a second. You really do care about that roach, don't you?
He's the promise of a future generation. Not that you'd ever understand.
Think I underestimated you, Sam. You really do have the heart of a parent.
And a real parent, not keeper of some half-statue freak show.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that. Let's get moving and save Max!
Hallelujah, Sam Jr. Now that we've motivated our fellow Lifebringer, we can control Max's legs and haul his terrifying bulk across the length and/or breadth of the city.
Okay, I might be able to work with that. I will say, I don't think I loved that puzzle for the reason that, like, I legitimately feel like that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I understand that the idea was to make Sam relate to Sybil so that, like, we would stop having this misunderstanding from the brain or whatever. But, like, to me, it feels like Sam having the interaction with Sam Jr. and, like, caring for him changes him as a person. And as a result, I don't need to, like, show Sybil the cockroach. I should just, like, be different. Like, to me, that doesn't feel logical. That, like, I would only behave differently in the immediate presence of my cockroach son. Like, that feels weird. The whole Sybil sequence is weird, bordering on offensive. Agreed also. I feel like even for the time, that felt, like, out of character for Sam. Like, it's not out of character for Sam or Max to be rude. Even perhaps disproportionately rude to women. But, like, I don't know. That just didn't feel like that was in tone for the game. And it, like, if the joke was that Max was trying to distort what Sam was actually thinking, like, maybe you could get away with it. But it feels very clearly like part of the joke is that Sam is actually, like, extremely horrible about pregnant women. And, like, I don't even, like, is that even, like, a joke? Like, what is that? Sam said something along the lines of, maybe now we can relate to Sybil. Yeah, I know, and that's why I went and immediately talked to her, and nothing changed. And I was like, okay. It's just, to me, it's actually very similar to why I, like, didn't love the corn dog thing. It's like, I clearly, like, Neko's, like, dialed into this chapter. But, like, for me, these puzzle solutions are all just, like, a little off. It's not that, like, the core idea doesn't make sense. It's that the precise implementation that the game wants doesn't make sense to me, which in some ways can be worse, because, like, then I start discounting the thing that I have in my inventory that feels like the obvious solution, because the obvious solution already didn't work. So, like, why would I try the thing that didn't work? And even then, a couple of times I've tried the thing that didn't work and it still didn't work. So now I have to put Sam Jr. back, probably, because I don't immediately think he's going to be useful anywhere else until we've solved this situation. But I think if we make Max crave cockroach and then use our newfound leg control to move Max to where Sal is, then he will eat Sal. I think that's what we're doing.
We must gather delicious...
Sam, I'm picking up an unusual spike in brainwave activity from Max. Are you trying to take control of him?
Weird that there's, like, a "Are you sure" command for that.
Rescue team, assume giant Max form, go.
So I can't control arms yet. That's what I need a big literate cockroach for.
Motor skills to full power. Neurons and stuff aligned for transphasal plasmic shift or something.
Dinotherm's connected.
Activate feet and legs.
Manual override active. Go!
Activate hands and arms.
Sam, you have not unlocked the arms yet.
Oh, right. We can still walk around and stuff, though, right?
We suppose, if you don't mind shambling through the city, pointlessly smashing everything in sight.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Reason not to.
Is there a particular reason why I would want to go toward the light? I feel like what I want to do is go back to where I started the chapter, because Sal is there. Is Sal at the light? Why are there, like, attack planes, like, not getting particularly close to Max? What's that about?
I don't know about this,
Okay.
Stinky. Feels like we got in way over our head.
Don't tell me you're getting cold tarsal pads now, baby. Not when we're so close to having everything we ever wanted.
Yeah, that's another thing. It was kind of exciting.
Man, cinematic slash fiction is really next level, huh?
What's that?
It sounds like something's coming.
I can almost see downtown Lidsville from here.
Yeah, so anyways, like I was saying.
Got him.
Hold on!
Now, what's awkward is I don't for sure know that Sal knows how to read.
Never fear, my queen. I've got you now.
It would make a really awkward revelation.
Sam, my biosensors are detecting a drop-off in transmotor electrical impulses to the lower quadrant. I'll skip it. Do you want to keep controlling Max or not?
I don't know why it's like so set on you not switching control methods.
I'm done here. I want to go back.
It's literally part of the game you made. If you don't want me to do it, then like make the game different. I don't understand. There've been so many like switch between Sam and Max things in this season. Why is it like suddenly a big deal? Hey, Sal.
Hey, Sam. So this is what hell looks like.
Well, kinda now that you mention it. But we're not in hell.
Really? Because I'd done some real bad things. I figured that monster had finally punched my ticket.
No, we're just in Max's stomach. If you want to make up for all the bad things you've done, you can help us save the city.
I'll do anything. Well, almost anything. Maybe I better hear what it is first.
Okay, use that video game machine up in the arm controls and read the commands off to Monsieur Paperweight. The brain's going to try to ventriloquize you to say the wrong thing, so...
So I just say the complete opposite, right? Any dope could figure that out.
Well, not any dope. I think you'd have to be pretty clever to figure that out.
What bad things has Sal done? He's a good cockroach?
Sam.
I don't know.
This roach is pure dynamite. He solved the manual override even faster than you did.
I did technically tell him how to do it. In fairness, we did literally tell him.
I took care of those arms like you wanted. Now just get over to Battery Park and you can...
Sal, are you okay, buddy?
Hey, how does he know about the
Looks
Battery
like
Park
this
stuff?
This is the end of my ride after all. Hey, Sam.
But I thought roaches were immune to radiation.
Nah, that's just a urban legend. But I figured that if a bunch of people need something, then that kind of weighs more than just one newly single deadbeat cockroach, you know?
That's beautiful, Sal.
Couldn't have said it better, Spock
Sal.
Sal.
Goes into your biography.
Now get over to that power plant and save the...
Legs up in the air. Mourn Sal.
Power plant and save the what, Sal? What? We need to know.
Come on.
Of all the roaches I've known, Sal was the second most human. I'll be sure to give him a proper and respectful flushing once this case is over.
I'm sorry, Neko. I didn't remember that happening, or I would try to give you a trigger warning. I know you're very
outside
upset.
Bosco Tech Labs.
So now I can control the arms. What does that do? I didn't actually know that Sal was one of the Venture Brothers voice actors, but now that you say it, that should have been obvious.
Giant Max must have either scared everybody away or eaten them. Amazing. I'm hearing what Max hears, right down to the irritating subsonic frequencies audible only to lagomorphs and professional bagpipers.
Sam,
It's
it
so-
looks like you're writing a letter. Would you like help?
What?
I mean, it looks like you're trying to control Max. Is that right?
We're going in.
So now we have arms and legs. I guess we just touch the power plant and or grass.
All right, team. We've only got a few hours left to save Max. Let's do this.
I'll be honest, the touch grass thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Touching grass doesn't seem like something I particularly want.
Activate feet and legs.
Still active. Go!
Activate hands and arms. Max Rescue Team, go!
Sailor Moon anime pose. Ooh, sweat at
Moving too fast for
skunkakis.
Max to grab. just as well, since I don't know what he'd do with it once he caught it anyway.
That doesn't stop you from chasing the bumpers of moving cars, now does it, Sam? Be respectful. Or something. I thought the camera was hinting I wanted to go straight, but evidently not. It would help if I actually had, like, a sense of the layout of the city, but we've kind of deliberately avoided having that. Nico says, it's weird that Max has nipples in this form. I mean, he had nipples before, they just weren't pronounced by being, like, hideous, leathery monstrosities. I guess the park should be this way? I mean, if we're in the same orientation we were before, which I genuinely have no idea if true. Is there a reason I would want to be at Bosco Tech instead? I don't think so. I think I'm just looking for the power plant right now. Can I, like, interact with the Empire State Building? Is that something? I kind of see what I think is supposed to be the Empire State Building off in the distance. If you shaved Max, do you think you'd have green skin like this version of him? God, I feel like somewhere in one of these other stories, there's something that should be analogous enough to give you a sense of whether that's true. I mean, remember when his, like, stomach flew away? Battery Park is a little more literal than I thought it'd be.
All right, team. We're going in.
Strutting sequence engaged. Let's do this with some
It kind of seemed like he had the texture of, like, silly putty when that happened.
It's for your own good, not so little buddy.
Shouldn't it hurt everyone inside who's not already dead? Rip Sal.
Only one way to find out.
He's got like a perfect cell sort of coloration and forehead.
That jolt should have been enough to short out Max's psychic powers. I'm going in.
Not so fast, my friends. Have you solved the mystery? I'll give you one more moment to check your work.
Nah, you can just open the door, that's fine.
Well, the clues to our villain's identity have been laid before you since the moment our story began. Have you figured it out yet? Is it Monsieur Paperweight and his hideous counterpart, Dr. Norrington, refugees from a dimension of pure evil? Or General Skunkape, driven mad by his insatiable lust for the toys of power?
Is it Abe Lincoln?
Pandemic with her... Do you mind? I'm trying to... Oh, now you've just ruined it.
Oh, sorry, but what are you doing inside Max's brain?
Inside Max's brain? My dear Sam, I am Max's brain.
Are you sure you're not simply the tumor?
A monochromatic fey British gentleman?
Not the entire brain, perhaps. Just the part that matters. I believe that Freud called it the superego, but I'd hate to sound boastful.
Treachery!
So you were the one using those psychic powers against me.
An unavoidable but entertaining necessity, I'm afraid. We couldn't have you wandering around Max's mind until the buildup of psychic energy had reached a tipping point, now could we?
Maybe?
It was a rhetorical question.
It sounds like you're just rationalizing away every evil decision you make just to convince yourself it's right.
Yeah, superego. That's pretty much what I do.
I didn't think Max had a superego.
Yes, well, you're fat. It would seem that neither of us get the respect or attention we deserve.
Well, you don't have to be a jerk about it.
Forgive me, I'm lashing out. But you, of all people, should be able to understand my frustration after years of being partnered with a creature driven by pure id. I always tried to encourage his appreciation of the finer things. Literature, theater, beatboxing. I was always ignored.
Are you the cause of Max's psychic powers?
No. The gift was within Max from the beginning. A gift of incalculable power.
It was just shape-shifting and some teleportation. Pretty common stuff, really.
In all the universe, the only power beyond the mind's comprehension is the power of the mind. And how did Max use that power? To explore the mysteries of the infinite? No, to put the smackdown on a host of petty criminals.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what you'd expect him to do.
Disappointment. A disappointment that will have to be corrected.
So what's your plan, Brain? To take over the world? Because this world's not going down without a fight.
Take over the world? Why would I want to do that? To prolong my suffering with an endless parade of armpit farts and locker room giggles? No, Sam. I want nothing more than to let it all end. And a psychic explosion that takes out most of the northeastern United States seems a particularly spectacular way to go.
Watchmen.
You're lying!
Oh, very well. I suppose you've forced me to come clean. Sam, I am actually an agent of a much higher power, appearing only to you and Max to guide you in times of crisis. I believe you mortals would refer to me as an angel.
Nah.
Wait, really?
Of course not. That would be stupid. I am the manifestation of the superego of a psychic rabbit detective mutated into a gigantic beast by a toy box filled with powerful toys from another dimension. Sometimes the simplest answer is the correct one.
So you're going to destroy the city just because you're upset Max isn't more highbrow?
Sam. They say that idle hands are the devil's playthings.
Yeah,
but
there you
there
go.
is something far, far worse. An idle mind is the devil's playhouse, a stage for the most vapid, horrible, and destructive stories to be made real.
Deep.
I think that's only true with incredible psychic powers.
Didn't think I'd be able to work the title in, did you?
Okay, here's how it's going to go down. I'm going to turn off the power.
I feel like it
Sybil and
should
Norrington
really
are
just
gonna
still be
cut
called
out
the
that
Devil's
tumor,
Toy Box.
And then you're going to help us get Max back to normal.
Sam, I couldn't, even if I wanted to. Max's power has reached critical levels, and it's only a matter
Can't we
of
just
time
psychically
until
manifest
his
a
brain
dial to turn
catches
down?
fire and explodes, taking most of the eastern United States with it.
Then we'll use his psychic powers.
But how? The toys were all destroyed. All that is left is Max's memories of them. Most
That
of
should be
which
enough.
were destroyed by a sudden jolt of electricity. Oh dear, did you do that? How ironic.
You said most of the powers were destroyed?
Well, there's the astral projector for all the good that will do you.
Looks like a scrapbook. Precious memories. Aw, that's awful cute. Giant Max is even more empty-headed than the regular version.
Astral projection requires there to be a suitable host body on the other end. You can only project into a version of yourself.
That's not true. He projected into his grandpa.
Or
one of the me clones. But all of the clones were quarantined to the reservations on Staten Island.
Oh, there are still a few strays here and there.
Should recall this has a few endings. Really? That seems surprising. I can probably manually save, yeah. Doesn't seem like we're crazy close to the end. Like, I think we're in...
That didn't work.
I'd guess, like,
There
the
must
second
not
to
be
last
any
segment.
clones of me there. It's that astral projection toy we found in our basement.
No, please. You mustn't use Max's psychic powers. It will only speed up our destruction.
Just try and stop me. After you explain to me how it works.
Max in his current form is a bit more simple than he used to be. The projector will only take slides now.
So I gotta get more slides. Hey, a circuit breaker.
This must be that medulla oblongata everybody's been talking about.
Zoop.
That ought to do it. Now Sybil and Norrington can get started on that brain surgery.
I guess I should talk to them because I don't have a suitable slide to use. Don't know where. I mean, I would expect maybe the inventory to have slides I can use.
Great job, Sam. Just a few quick slices, and then we can get both of these mothers out of Max's brain.
Wait!
Now what's the problem?
It appears that Max's tumor has become infected with dark matter.
But you can make it better, right?
Weird.
I need Max to wobble by my side as we crash land into the mysteries of the universe and chortle merrily at reality's deepest secrets.
No earthly tools can remove dark matter. Believe me, I've tried.
Destroy dark matter. I know, that toy robot I found.
But I thought you guys said that all those psychic toys were destroyed.
Destroyed?
Are you listening?
Nonsense. I can still sense the blasted thing. Somewhere in the city.
Someone must have retrieved the toy from the Statue of Liberty and reassembled it.
And I think I know exactly who. Our old favorite psychic toy collector, Harry Moleman.
You mean General Skunkape, right?
Oh yeah, Skunk Ape. He probably has the robot, doesn't he? I should go find him. To get the robot. Skunk Ape. Yeah.
It was weird.
There it is, the power plant at Battery Park. Max can't get a good memory off of this lousy picture, though. I've got to see it in person.
Gotta see it in person. Isn't this the only place I'd be able to see something? I don't know what that means exactly.
Max is acting crazy again. Are you?
Roger that, Mama Bosco.
I mean, the next thing to do is probably to, like, just find Skunk Ape's ship. But I'm not like 1,000% sure how to turn that into a slide.
For your short-term memory book, Max.
Got a real running gate here, huh?
Think, Max. Remember back when we were trapped on board Skunk Ape's spaceship?
Okay. If I'm controlling Max and I tell him to remember something he's looking at, he will make a slide of it. So let me see if I can just collect those all at once and save some time later.
Remember that time we electrocuted you, Max? That was pretty spectacular.
Now, Demolition, is it a problem for me to save after collecting these, having already selected one answer?
Remember this block, Max? It's where we got our first citation for excessive property damage.
The order you do this gives you different memories? Really?
You remember Mama Bosco's lab, don't you, Max?
Sam, you appear to be...
I need some meat.
Doesn't seem like there's all that many options. It also feels like I should not be allowed to just do this freely if the entity that wants me not to do it is just standing there. Alright, I'm clearly missing one of these. I want to go...
I better
to
hope a
there.
clone ended up on Skunk Ape's ship somehow. Here goes nothing.
Not sure how I would get this toy to myself even if this worked.
Where am I?
We've got like a Sims-esque plumb bob.
Nuts. General Skunk Ape must have taken a few of the doppelgangers, simulacra, as souvenirs. No sign of anybody at the controls. He must be in the little space gorilla's room. Now's my chance. Looks like I'm gonna need the help of those not-me's to get out of here.
Does using the astral pyramid mean I can, like, become other Sam? Or does it mean I go home?
Third eye is feeling a little itchy and watery. I wonder if I should switch to a different, fresher clone body.
Well, I can't say I exactly know what these designations mean.
I'm already in that body.
Oh, Sam Prime is then considered home? Okay. Your mood is Illuminati. I think that means I need to go to the restroom?
Blah.
Very relatable. Oh. A toothbrush and some dog tags.
Useful, because I can't even tell us apart. This toothbrush is part of every clone starter kit, I'm guessing. I'm starting to think these aren't even real keys.
This line read was not directed properly.
Clone ID tags. Useful, because I can't even tell us apart.
It should be like, I can't even tell us apart.
Nothing like looking at copies of yourself naked to make you want to hit the gym.
Attention, recreation.
I don't even need that
has
much help.
ended. Do not approach the gyroscopic stabilization controls except in the event of an emergency.
I'm just always aware of the fact that I should do better. Doesn't make me do it, though. Drink from the water.
These puzzles are making me thirsty. Well, that washed off the door to that fuse box, all right.
Open it
I
first?
didn't notice this fuse box when Max and I were stuck in here before. The exposed, delicate electrical wiring of Skunk Ape's spaceship.
Really happy you finally took a drink from the hamster bottle. I think you're able to do that in Sam and Max Hit the Road too, aren't you? When you see the Mole Man in that game?
Stabilization controls. Clone HW021S. Commence backup stabilization immediately.
Uh-oh, sounds like that's my cue.
The computer voice is just girl stinky, isn't it? It's like slightly different intonation, but I think that's just girl stinky. I don't know how this helps, but we'll stabilize.
Emergency stabilization in effect.
Use backdrop?
Faded colors, fraying edges. I remember when quality meant something in a spaceship. What? It was like that when I got here, honest.
Use toothbrush on exposed
That looks
wires?
clean enough for now. Maybe later when my OCD starts acting up again. Yo! I hope this is worth it. Ha-ha! I've escaped your little jail, Skunk Ape, with nothing more than my wits and some gold lame shorts. Now just hand over...
Like Squeedly
them-
Spooch.
Robot? Skunk Ape? Where'd
You
everybody
already knew
go?
he wasn't out here. That was like half the reason we did this.
Hey, no fair. How come he gets the hamster wheel? No, that was a terrible idea.
Are the keys a total red herring? Why do the keys exist? I can't seem to switch into the Max with the key, or the Sam with the keys to give them to me, Sam. To Sam, me!
There's no sign of Skunk Ape or Stinky either.
Can I look at that stupid plant painting? No?
Even in a clone body, I'm not going to jump out of a flying spaceship.
What are you doing here? The clones aren't allowed.
You don't look like our pal, the alien. Wait a second. I recognize that brain.
Clones aren't supposed to talk. Wait a second. I recognize that clone.
You're Samunmak.
You're Max. No, wait, Sam. Which one is the dog again?
What is what's left of you doing here?
If you must know, I'm controlling this ship with my mind until I can find a replacement body. And then I will once again rule the Earth, as is my divine right.
Hey, where's Skunk Ape?
So, did Skunk Ape leave a forwarding address or any contact information?
Ha! Outwitted again, dog! Skunkape knew you'd be searching for him, and that's why he refused to tell me.
Clever. All this time I thought you were just his brain slave, when you're practically his second in command.
Of course! And to keep up the disguise, that's why he keeps refusing to clean out my tank.
Gross.
I'm looking for a toy robot. About yay big, goes by the name of Troy, gives its destruction to everyone.
That's right, it does give its destruction to everyone.
I help you?
Because you're a brain in a jar and I know how to boil things?
Very well. It's nowhere on this starship, I promise you.
If the robot isn't on this spaceship, that means Skunk Ape took it with him.
Oh, clever. No wonder you're a detective.
I've got to find that toy. I've got to find that toy.
Toy sensors activated.
Stop that at once! I'm trying to concentrate.
Toy sensors deactivated.
Just keep saying toy boat. That'll get him.
So Skunk Ape hooked your brain into the controls of this ship and then just left you here?
I wasn't left here! General Skunkape turned command over to me to continue the assault on the giant Max
Is that right?
creature. And to be frank, it is a role I relish, considering my beef with him after his insolence.
Now serving 1 beef frank on a roll with relish.
No, well, that's close enough.
So somebody found a use for your brain after all.
Don't be jealous, dog. Someone will find a use for your brain someday. Burn.
Sounds like you're not quite in control of the spaceship yet, pal.
I can control this vessel with just the smallest thought. Even while speaking to you, I am targeting your partner for a full assault with my... what's the word?
Robot? Come on! I'm trying really hard over here.
I wouldn't be so cocky. Don't you know what happens to the gifted brains that Skunk Ape uses to control his ship?
You question the power of the great Samunmak? I will bide my time with General Skunkape for as long as it serves my purposes. And when the time is right, I will strike like a cobra. Or at least the brain of a cobra.
And how are you planning to take over exactly? You don't have any weapons.
Weapons? The mighty Samunmak has no need for weapons.
Just tell me where Skunk Ape is, and I promise I'll set you free to run around and play with other disembodied brains or something.
I suppose you will be needing a new psychic-powered partner, seeing as how your current one is about to be destroyed.
That's it. I take it back. Tell me where Skunk Ape is, and I won't drop-kick you into the Hudson.
Barbarians, all of you future creatures. I'll never tell.
I've been meaning to ask you, what's your problem with the mole men anyway?
Ugh, disgusting, pitiful creatures. All of them.
They weren't so pitiful that they couldn't overthrow you twice.
Nonsense! They caught me off guard is all, and I hadn't stretched first. And the sun god raw was in my eyes.
So when you first found the Devil's Toy Box and became Pharaoh, the Mole Man overthrew you.
That doesn't mean anything.
And then when you got the ultimate power again to change reality itself, they managed to overthrow you again.
Just you wait. Once I have taken my throne again, I will imprison all of those filthy mole men. And then wipe them out of existence.
Keep up with the flying, Salmon Mac. I hate to think what'd happen if this spaceship suddenly lost power.
I'm not listening to you.
Now that I think about mole men, I know lots of mole men. There's Harry Moleman, Shavul, who was a mole man, his nephew Doug the Mole Man, Warren Burroughs, Prime Minister of the Mole People, Patton Oswalt.
Stop that! Stop that immediately!
Mole Man.
Cut it out!
Mole Man, Mole Man, Mole Man.
For the last time, stop it!
Rabbit season.
I said stop! Wait, weren't you supposed to say mole men?
Got him.
Damn it.
General Skunkapi, is it time?
Grandpa Stinky.
What? Oh yes, Earth Dog. I am indeed the elderly stinky human.
That's weird. It's a weird way for you to say that.
Did you notice if Skunk Ape was holding a toy robot that can destroy stuff from the Dark Dimension?
I've got no idea what you're talking about. I've never even heard of the Catonic Destroyer. Except that would be a good name for it. Probably. If it existed. Or if I knew what it was. What was the question again?
Are you Skunk Ape?
This is important, Grandpa Stinky. Did Skunk Ape mention where he was going?
Aye, but the General has guaranteed that you Earth creatures will never find him before the domination of... he did not. I am a cantankerous human. Pah.
Are you all right, Grandpa Stinky? You seem different.
I assure you, I am quite well. And I am in fact your associate, Grandpa Stinky.
Well, okay then.
Thank you for asking, though.
Wait a second.
Grandpa wouldn't say thank you.
Polite.
You might as well admit it, you know. The freelance police are powerless to stop us anyway.
Very well. Enough with the charade. I am actually the mighty Grey Pipe, mightiest of General Skunkape's warriors.
How about that toy robot?
Fess up, pal. Where's that anti-dark matter toy robot hidden?
Don't make me laugh, Earthling. After General Skunkapi so painstakingly reassembled the pieces of the Destroyer robot, he'd never be foolish enough to let it out of his sight.
Why don't you reveal the entire plan to the enemy, Grapipe?
Oh, right. Let's start over again.
You must have really made Skunk Ape angry for him to lock you in the mole room.
Nonsense. I am the linchpin in his plan for galactic domination. He secured me in the mole sweating room for the good of the Skunkapi Empire.
Speaking of sweat, you really should secure yourself in the showers for the good of everyone else.
There was a mix-up with the heat controls.
No, that's kind of what that room does.
So, are you wearing a Grandpa Stinky suit or something?
Ha! The true explanation of my current appearance is so mind-bogglingly horrifying.
Did you switch brains?
Will never be able to comprehend.
You switch brains?
Well, yes. And there's nothing you can do about it.
I mean, I could probably switch your brains back. Not sure I care enough to do it.
Right, Mac. Where's Skunk Ape now?
Yeah, there's nothing you could possibly do to make me talk, naked Earth Dog.
Well, I hate to have to do this, but it's for Max's sake, and I'm dressed for it anyway. Prepare yourself for my hypnotic dance of the 3rd degree.
Uh-oh.
All right, I'll talk. Just make it stop. He's at a warehouse in the southeast end of the featureless warehouse district.
Featureless warehouse
has anything
district.
to do with Mama Bosco's cloning chamber.
It's the Hotep Not Clone-Related Industries Building, 2348 Doppel Street at Gang Avenue, 212-555-2314.
Okay, I got it. Don't go anywhere. I may have more questions for you later.
You'd better hurry. Your time's running out.
Alright, I'm gonna leave that naked dog there. Nobody ask any questions. Now, I feel reasonably confident that I don't have a warehouse slide, and this
There's
is
no replacement. There's no replacement. Maybe some clone stragglers are still hanging around Mama Bosco's lab.
I don't know if I need to find a separate warehouse location, but it was implied that this would be close to there.
What a stroke of luck. There is a clone hanging around the lab. And the poor guy's injured. This must be one of the clones Max was gnawing on last week. It's just as well, since there's not much for me to do around here anyway. Mama Bosco, can you...
Not now, clone. I'm busy here.
Hey, President Super Bowl. It's me, Sam.
Oh, great. I'm so racked with guilt that now I'm hearing things.
You're not hearing things. I'm astrally projecting into a clone body after talking to Max's superego inside his brain.
Keep it together, Super Bowl. Sam will be able to save the day. He always does.
Not much point in coming here in retrospect.
Okay, so let's take control of Max and try to find the warehouse location, I guess?
Sam, I'm picking up a...
We've got everything under control, Mom.
I really don't understand why it's necessary to have the safeguard on taking control of Max destroying the city. I'm assuming this is what it means.
Max. Concentrate, Max. Remember all the wacky hijinks we had in that cloning chamber.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Sam.
I'm done here.
Let's see if we can astrally project into that new photo it just gave us.
I think it's time Skunk Ape discussed this toy robot business. Faced a reasonable facsimile of my face.
The paper just casually has a knife in his shoulder.
Yes.
Classic Flint paper.
So glad to see you're getting along with my unstoppable army of minions, Flint paper.
I prefer the unstoppable Exodia, but no one's ever assembled him before.
Keep laughing, Simeon. Having a sunny personality will make the time go by faster in Sing Sing.
Hey, what?
It's a prison.
Ah, no Earth prison can hold me. With my unstoppable army, my newly reformed queen at my side, and the power trapped in this ancient toy robot, our plan cannot fail.
You just forgot one thing. The self-destruct sequence.
This cloning chamber doesn't have a self-destruct sequence.
Maybe not, but he does.
Unstable antimatter device detected. Initiating containment protocols.
You can override the bomb. Yes, my queen?
I'm doing it, darling.
I like that she's typing like 2 fingers. Just like...
Yow! Now come on. Who would put an invisible laser grid here?
That stinky dame and her cockroach accomplice set that up to keep anybody from stumbling onto their magic show.
Looks like some kind of fog machine?
Good eye, Sam. Near as I can make out, Sal turned that on to cover up Stinky's little disappearing act.
If we turn it on now, it'll maybe show us how to get past the lasers.
Good thing I've been practicing my yoga during this whole crisis.
It's implied I did the entrapment thing. That's the right movie, right?
It's a big hunk of rock.
Left over from all the secret tunnels those lovebirds were having the mole people dig to pull off their scheme. She'd do anything to get rid of all that granite. I heard she was even selling it in sandwiches.
A needless callback.
It's an old video projector.
It was set up inside the diner, Sam. Turn it on at the right time. Cover it up with enough fog, and you could make it look like anything had just appeared out of thin air.
Hey, I recognize that. That's the cake of the damned. The evil recipe that Grandpa Stinky magically turned into Girl Stinky.
Or so that poor sap Grandpa Stinky was supposed to think.
I'll just call this Exhibit A. Nah, I'd better keep this in case I forget what the Devil's Toy Box looks like.
Stupid.
This photo was probably useful somewhere, but that... Aha! Instant demonic spell. Pretty sneaky, Stinky.
And since Grandpa Stinky thought he'd made her, he changed his will so that she'd get the diner if anything happened to him.
Sim, sim, salabim. What? The Devil's Toy Box? How can this be?
What?
The Devil's Toy Box?
Sorry, the mechanism was unintuitive to me. I thought I'd be putting the photos in the slide projector, but I put them in front of a video camera for the projector. It's fine, don't worry about it.
Talking clone? Oh, now I see. You have come to make things difficult for me again. Yes, Sam?
What? No.
Hand over that toy robot, and I'll think about turning the toy box over to you.
You're hardly in a position to make demands, Sam.
I don't need pockets or a shirt to stop you.
Instead of simply taking what I want.
Because if you don't, I'll blow up the toy box once and for all.
Yeah, you wouldn't dare. The explosion would destroy you along with half the city.
I'd destroy half of any city to save my best pal. Besides, I'm using a loaner body.
You're serious?
I'm just crazy enough to do it.
No, here! Take the robot. Just keep that bomb away from the toy box.
How do I get this to me?
Antimatter bomb disabled. Containment protocols canceled.
What is he doing?
Now I better get this robot into Max's brain before Skunk Ape realizes he's been flamboozled.
I'm not sure that's the right word for that.
I can't be wandering through...
How would I get the robot to me? How would that work? How am I not dead already?
You got everything under control here, Flint?
Ah, this is as easy
You
as
just want to say
picking lice from
specific
the
tunnel.
hobos.
That's fair.
Again with the hobos. What's his problem?
Don't kill that one, Flint. That's Grandpa Stinky.
No problem, Sam.
Angry monkey! Saunter casually away where they could definitely catch me if they gave even a little effort.
Sam to rescue team. Sam to rescue team. Robot acquired. Eat me. Over.
Roger that.
Nom nom. These infinite gorilla clones. He could have sent a few after you. I know, that's sort of... I'm being kind of, like, a jerk about it, but, like, clearly there were the means to stop this from happening. Okay, just send that guy back down to the stomach. Don't worry about it.
This is no time to go.
Oh, I have to...
Hey, I
use
got that
robot with tumor.
And... Skunk Ape must have put it back together himself. Watch that trigger.
Once we blast away that dark matter, we should have enough time to remove the... Uh-oh. I think my water just broke.
Pennies?
Sam, we've got to get out of here.
God.
Now.
But Max is...
There is no way I'm having this baby inside a horrible monster!
That horrible monster is my best friend, and we're running out of time to save him. What do we do?
Save Sybil. Save Sybil. Save Sybil. Sybil. Save Sybil. Save Sybil. Save Sybil. Save Sybil. Save Sybil.
My friends, the most wondrous thing has happened.
It hasn't happened yet, and it's not going to unless we move.
What? Oh, yes, the baby. Whatever. No, my friends, the wondrous thing is that Max has actually committed a selfless act.
Who's this guy?
He's the personification of Max's superego.
Ah,
makes sense.
That means he's more than just pure id. He's capable of self-sacrifice. I've made a terrible mistake. Max is worth saving after all.
Told you so.
Go. Save Sybil. I will stay here and remove this wretched tumor.
But how do we get out of here in time?
Huh? No doubt there's something in here you've overlooked.
The vent? The vent that we accidentally freed up? The vent chosen specifically to kill Cusco?
I can't remember the last time I saw him cry. Well, except when he was trying to lull his prey into a false sense of security. It won't do any good unless Max is crying, though.
That's why we need the sad record. That feels like it should have been useful for something earlier, but we will not talk about that. I no longer possess the robot for reasons that are unclear to me, so I cannot attempt to use the robot on the narrator for you, Neko.
Oh, breathe, Sybil. Do you need any water? Or hot towels? Or a complimentary mint?
I need for you to get me out of this monster!
Do seem to have the correct record player on.
Knitchlook glanced back to see his igloo engulfed in flames. The muffled screams of the Zebulon invasion force still barely audible over the intermittent explosions of propane tanks. As he held the Eye of Zinthar aloft and watched the sunlight reflected off the sparkling souls trapped inside, Knitchlook realized he had become a man. He plunged the sword of judgment into the still twitching body of a Zebulon drone. Today has been a good day, thought Knitchlook.
All right, everybody, let's load up and make a quick getaway. Good luck, Max's superego. We're all counting on you.
Don't worry, Sam. I'll have Max back to his normal, impetuous, wonderful self in 5 minutes. Just go, and hurry.
Sam, you have to get out now. The maintrons will impact in 4 minutes.
4 minutes is seemingly not enough time.
Why aren't we moving?
Wait a second. This isn't the tear duct.
Well, everyone died, especially Sybil.
Well, that was thoroughly unpleasant. Gesundheit.
I don't think that car was in his sneeze ducts.
Pandemic Lincoln.
Ugh, that's Lincoln Pandemic?
Could you keep it down? Our head is killing us.
I feel like this isn't what we had hoped would happen.
Quick, Giant Max, get out of there. The last main.
It's okay, they don't have bones. Oh, that's good. I don't know, the radiation didn't seem to bother him before.
He saved the city. But where did he go?
I almost had everything, and then you had to start slobbering over a stupid piece of rock.
For the last time, my queen, I will get you a diner on the next world we conquer. Just get me far away from... Didn't I tell you to get rid of that cell phone already?
Who could possibly be calling me?
It's Max, probably.
Max?
Realign the mitochondrial plasmoid transference sequence. Oh, who am I trying to kid? I'm making all this up as I go along. Anyway, I've adjusted...
Full-size Abraham Lincoln just casually hanging out down here.
Max back as good as new.
Great, Dr. Mama Bosco. Let's do it.
I'll just need a sample of his DNA. One that's less than 1 week old.
Oh, okay, I just have his snot. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I have his snot?
Try this, Mama Bosco. It should be crawling with Max DNA. God knows what else.
Perfect. This should only take a few minutes.
It's implied a few minutes
That
passed.
should do it.
Welcome back, little buddy. What happened?
It looks like Max's DNA is just too weird for my machines to be able to reproduce. There's nothing we can do. I'm sorry, Sam.
Tough break, Sammo. At least he went out saving the universe. As president, I'd just like to offer my... I can't do this now. I just can't.
Super Ball, come back!
Everyone turn around. I want to see the rooster lay an egg again. Miss Tallman, there was that Lincoln in a suit. Yeah, I mean, that's like Lincoln from Abe Lincoln Must Die. He somehow got his entire body back. We're not allowed to ask questions. Night Keen, although I feel like if you wait a couple minutes, you'll probably get the entire end of the game. It was a real suit, not a stone one. I think it's supposed to still be a stone. When we saw him before, he was still like stone colored. Now there's some choreography credits. I thought that might indicate that we had another musical number, but perhaps it's just like choreography of the 3D models or something. I don't know that I've seen it referred to that way before, but I am not an expert on that. It's a lot of violence, but not enough violence. I wanted to see this disturbing half-statue baby. I mean, we got some pennies. Does that help? Why didn't anyone clone Sal? Maybe his DNA is also too weird. Or maybe the process is too radioactive. Stupid time elevator.
Oh, hi, Sam.
Holy beer-battered princes of Maine and kings of New England in a glass-bottom boat with a trip-hop DJ and the second runner-up in the Miss Teen Oklahoma pageant. It's past Max in a time-traveling elevator.
What's shaking?
Max, I thought you were... Wait a second, where's the past me?
Oh, yeah, about that. We were on a case, and you got turned into a giant monster with electromagnetic powers, so I kind of had to blow you up. It was horrible. So, want to stop some crimes?
Let's.
Ooh, push all the buttons. I want to scatter some dental retainers throughout the fossil record and see how long it takes anybody to notice.
You crack me up, little buddy.
Is one of the clones gonna take the hat? Maxilla -1. Boy, you can tell. You can tell that this one released recently, huh? I think that was. I mean, yeah, Sam. That was definitely implied to be Sam coming back for his own hat. I thought because he had already left, maybe they were going to tie up that weird thread from the previous chapter where, like, Sam gave his hat to one of the clones and then was upset that he had done that later. You know, because we have all the loose clones dogging around. I mean, I remembered that the game, like, ended on, like, a supposed downer, and I was pretty sure that Max came back and couldn't remember how that was supposed to have happened. I certainly can't think of a more satisfying way for that to happen than the time elevator from the temporal home for enlightened mariachis. I mean, that's always going to be a winner for me. I don't particularly know anything about alternate endings, as Demolition had suggested earlier. I don't know if those would pertain to the final cutscene or just different options for getting up to the final escape from Monster Max. I don't know. I feel like this is a case where, like, memory order determines what you see in the credits. Oh, weird. weird. I feel like this is a case where, like, emotionally, I like the note that this game ends on, and I don't think it's like an especially bad Telltale Sam & Max, but I feel like it's like kind of mediocre. It feels like a touch short, perhaps, but also like, I don't know, not a particularly big fan of the narrator super ego villain. I don't know that we did enough to establish that character that I care about them, and then it felt like he had almost no bearing on the story whatsoever. Just needed someone to make a heroic sacrifice off screen so that Sam didn't also die in the process, because otherwise you have like a different kind of depressing ending. The only good new character was Sal. Well, Sam Jr. is pretty decent. But yeah, in terms of the characters like added for season 3, I mean, I feel like I've said it before, but like just generally not a huge fan. Like, I feel like we had a really fun thing going by like gradually expanding the world, but like also just having the characters reinvent themselves. And I am glad that this game touches back on that by bringing back Mr. Featherly and Sybil and, I mean, not Bosco for, I don't know, I did that guy like commit crimes or something? I'm not sure. I feel like they really hated that guy, because I'm pretty sure they recast him for the remasters too. Yeah, Sam & Max not bad. That's fair. But like Paperweight and Dr. Norrington, I don't strongly care about. Skunkape doesn't really do it for me. I even kind of feel like what they did with Grandpa Stinky throughout most of this season wasn't as fun as just like his regular boring character from season 2. There were a couple good moments for sure. I did sort of like that he latched onto any type of authority and we like exploited that repeatedly. That was like kind of fun. But like also it just kind of meant he was like a weird like fascist guy all the time. It's like a weird vibe. Yeah, I think I would agree that for this season, episode 3 is the best. That is the one where, yeah, that's the one where we have to deal with the stuff at the museum and then end up in like weird present future Egypt. No Hugh Bliss has just said, yeah, we did technically like boil him apart or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, I do feel like, I mean, not only were like the puzzles and the story, for my money, the most fun in the third episode, but like also that is the one that probably features Sal most prominently. I don't know. The season ends a lot stronger than it started. I mean, the first one I think is a bad introduction to a pretty radical change to the pre-existing games in the series. I mean, that's somewhat subjective, but I do think that even if you like the change to the toys, which I don't love, and one of the things I think I like about this last one is it doesn't really use them other than like as plot devices. But like, yeah, like the puzzles are just kind of light in general in this one. There's like not a ton going on, and the ones that do exist are like a little extra obtuse. I guess maybe that offsets the fact that it's a little shorter. I don't know if they're just meant to take longer because of the weird implementation or whatever. But like, yeah, I mean, not only does episode 3 give us Sal and the museum fight and the weird present and introduce like Sam & Mac as a proper character, but it also has like Yank the Bone Lever. Like it's a good one. There's a lot of good stuff going on in that chapter. But like I think Alley of the Dolls is like, it's okay. The ending's a little weird. I don't know, trying to have boss fights in adventure games is generally tough. I don't know that I think any of... if I had to pick one, I do think the gladiator pit fight in episode 3 was probably best of this season also. Like, that really was just, like, the strongest chapter all around, I think. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think you can realistically have Sam or Max, like, permanently die in this franchise. Like, I don't think it's reasonable to try and, like, have that as stakes, because there's just, like, too much, like, sci-fi fantasy genre jargon. Like, there would just always be an excuse for one of them to come back. But I like that they held the sort of sad beat for the purpose of the credits. And then, you know, I mean, obviously I'm partial to the time-traveling elevator. And I think it's funny for Max to say that he basically just came from doing the same thing to Sam. And now we're just, like, never going to talk about it again. We're just going to pretend like everything has always been normal. Like, yeah, that seems like exactly the way we would do it. And it also sort of, like, is a nod to the episodic sort of genre that they created to establish Telltale as a company and revive the series. I don't actually know at the moment. Does Skunk Ape, the company that remastered this, have ownership over the Sam & Max IP, or did they just get the rights to remaster the games? No real idea about that. I mean, I don't really know anything about Skunk Ape outside of this, but considering that they named themselves Skunk Ape, this may be the only thing they've really done in terms of, like, development. I mean, if they have the IP now that they've done this series, maybe they would consider doing more. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like we very well could have more Sam & Max in the future. I am happy with what we have, though. I mean, even though I've complained at length about the Devil's Playhouse for various reasons, it's a disappointment, and it's hard for me not to feel disappointment with it. It is very similar in a sense to my strong feelings about Zero Time Dilemma, where, like, if it was a thing released in its own right, I'd probably just think it was unremarkable. But the fact that it was meant to be a continuation of something that I feel such a strong connection to, and it didn't live up to, not even just, like, the hype. It's not that it wasn't, like, the best thing it ever could have been. It's that it felt like it was a sizable step downward from what was already established, both in the 90s with Sam & Max Hit the Road, and also just with the previous 2 seasons that were already created by Telltale. The fact that this just, like, feels like a lesser version of any of that makes me still have kind of a negative association with it. But at the same time, there are still, like, a lot of good moments in this season. Like, in this last one in particular, I feel like there was a lot of, like, really good Sam & Max dialogue that, like, harkens back to, like, some of the older Sam & Max style stuff, and, like, leans less into the elements that Telltale brought to the table. Not that a lot of those were, like, bad or lesser, but just, like, it was refreshing to see some just, like, really classic Sam & Max nonsense. Looked them up, and they have the rights to the original Sam & Max Telltale trilogy, but not necessarily the intellectual property. Yeah, that's kind of what I had assumed. But with the dissolution and reestablishment of Telltale, I really have no idea who has the rights to that, if anyone. I don't know if those have somehow reverted back to Steve Purcell, the guy who created them. But anyway, my point being, you know, there was a long time where the only thing I knew about Sam & Max was the PC game from the 90s. And that game is great. I mean, it has its moments, but I think especially for the era it was created in, it's like a real masterpiece. There's a lot of great stuff in there. I think it really shows off the characters well. And, you know, I had to wait a really long time, but man, I can't tell you how excited I was for Telltale, even just as a concept, because they launched themselves by being like, we care about old school adventure games. They were like kind of having a resurgence, like specifically because of Siberia. Believe it or not. I know we were like talking about Siberia earlier and we're always making fun of it because most of you only know Siberia 3, which is dreadful. It's a very bad game. But like Siberia 1 was like a huge deal in the history of adventure games. It caused like this real like indie resurgence of interest in making adventure games. And I think that was partially responsible for a small company acquiring the rights to one of the most beloved adventure games, I think, of all time, and reinventing the gaming genre in a really interesting way. I know that the episodic model hasn't persisted, but I think that's largely because of the advent of like Kickstarter and GoFundMe. They've sort of replaced the need to like pre-order episodes for something that's in production. Now stuff will just like go into early access and, you know, people will pledge money because the idea is good enough or whatever. But I don't know. It's such an interesting moment in video game history is Telltale and specifically Sam & Max. But I really think that at the end of the day, they created a really good product here that did justice to the characters. And, you know, I'm a harsh critic. And yes, I think season 3 is worse than the others. But even if all we ever got was seasons 1 and 2, like, man, I'd be so happy with that. Just because, like, we could have just had hit the road and that would have been great. But I really, like, there's so much I love about Sam & Max. And I think that Telltale did a good job of expanding the world and still being true to the characters. And I mean, still creating new stuff like them, which is just one of my favorite things ever. The only thing great about watching Siberia 3 is it made me curious about the previous 2 titles. I actually don't remember a ton about the second one. I think some of the things I remember about the first one bleed a little bit into the second one. The first Siberia game was like good for its time, but really hasn't held up well. And the sequels weren't even really good when they came out. But the first Siberia was such a big deal. There were just so many people being like, oh my God, have you seen this adventure game? Adventure games are back. And like, it was doing something really interesting and creative, but it was doing it kind of on a budget and kind of like cut some corners. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, like just to make that production manageable, because I don't think a ton of people worked on it. And also, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember what country the dev team originates from, but I'm fairly certain it is not a natively English-speaking country, which is why the voice acting and the dialogue are a little weird. Nicholas says, Vasco, I just looked up the best point-and-click adventure games, and Google listed Life is Strange 2 as one of them. There are many problems with that, and they mostly showcase that we can't trust artificial intelligence, especially that which has been integrated into Google search. I mean, Life is Strange 1 is neither a point-and-click game nor a best of all time, and I am literally physically incapable of believing that Life is Strange 2 could change drastically enough that it could be those things. But just to conclude my thoughts here, like, I hope that you have enjoyed this trip through time and space with Sam & Max, because I just adore those characters and all the weird things that they entail. I do wish that there was like a little bit more classic Sam & Max puzzle solving hijinks in this season, but at least I think the characters of Sam & Max themselves are still done justice through most of this, with some exceptions here and there, like Sam hating pregnant women or something. But like, even if it's not my favorite game, I think I'd still rather have what we got out of Devil's Playhouse, because I think there's enough good here that it still is a net positive. And as I said before, even without it, Telltale's contribution to this pantheon means a lot to me. Because I specifically searched point and click adventure games too. It's like Google knew it would upset you. I mean, it's just wrong. But that just happens with Google AI search. Not a fan. Slip that in there with Grim Fandango and Sam and Max. Grim Fandango is a real hit or miss one. It starts like really strong, and I always think more of that stuff than like how much stuff there is that's not the early stuff. The game is always like longer than I remember, and the later stuff is weird. So like, yeah, I mean, it feels a little similar. I mean, I love Grim Fandango too. I wouldn't say it holds up great, but like, I think it is still kind of a classic in its own right. Never understood why they wanted to move to tank controls instead of point and click. It's not technically point and click, but it's much closer to point and click than Life is Strange is. Life is Strange to me is like closer to what I call the Western visual novel or interactive movie or just straight up Telltale style game. But yeah, this has been great. Like I said, I think the thing I'd like to do tomorrow is just sort of like go hop around and see where we can get trophies to get some closure on some weird Easter egg style stuff we'll probably find going back through Sam and Max. I don't even remember which of the older chapters are missing trophies, but we can go through that. I don't mind directly consulting walkthroughs at this point to get those, but I think it'd be a nice way to sort of debrief and maybe relocate some clips that we want to get for various purposes. That will be a project at some point. But before we can close off tonight's stream, of course, somewhere in this room are hidden some number of Squirtles. This is a tradition here on my channel where I decorate with stuffed animals, and I've hidden Squirtles because locating a secret Squirtle will be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. Now, while you all take the time to see where that might be, it is now after midnight local time, which means that it is tomorrow, which means that it is today, the 7th, which means that I'm going to open one of these Squishmallow windows in this enormous calendar. December 7th is... Look at this little guy. Little festive elf guy. He's really good. This is a really good calendar. One thing I really like about these guys, and I don't know why I like this so much, is they have full tags. Like, I shouldn't want that, but there's just something really cute to me about the fact that these little tiny guys get like a full tag. I have some like smaller Squishmallows. Actually, I have one handy. I have like a really small Squishmallow. It doesn't get like a normal tag, but it gets like an absolutely preposterous amount of this tag. Little vampire elf. I don't know if he's emo enough for that, but I see where you're coming from. Actually, before we do Squirtle, I want to get yesterday's Squishmallow. I'll be right back. Yeah, I lied. I brought all of them. Okay, so to recap, Snowman, day 1. Earmuff Unicorn, day 2. This one's very good. She's winking. Her horn's a little... I can't quite get it to be straight, but she's very cute and sparkly. Day 3 is a slim penguin with a wreath on him. That's very good. He seems happy about that. Day 4... Nutcracker Mouse. He has a good little mouth and whiskers. The details are very nice. Day 5 Day 5 is Santa Octopus. Extremely good. Look at her. I mean, for some reason, her hat doesn't, like, fit even, and it bothers me a little. Wait, maybe I can fix that. Yeah, there we go. I mean, if you do that, it kind of covers her eye, but she's really good. This, however, Day 6 is the real pièce de résistance. Look at this little reindeer with her earmuffs and her cute little eyelash eyes. I don't know, man. The detail of this is, like, impeccable. This is a very good, extremely good reindeer. And then Day 7 is this elf who's also really good. They just have, like, a really good amount of detail on them. Now, granted, at their size, some of the details come out a little weird. Like, Santa Octopus's hat's a little weird, but I still love her. But, like, I don't know, man. This reindeer's really good. I really like her. Her name is Dawn. She's very good. Okay, I didn't see anyone's guess because I was really fixated on these tiny Squishmallows. They're very good. Okay. Santa Winnie the Pooh. Snoopy. Any others? Did I miss one? Squidbeard. Bread. Excellent guesses. Okay. I'm happy with one of those guesses, and you'll find out why. So, Snoopy is one. Not a Squirtle, but another festive Squishmallow. This is a relatively small, but not tiny, Christmas tree with a star on top. Very happy to be festive. Bread. They're going to knock everything over? Not today. Hiding under that concerned loaf is Mew. One of the most legendary Pokemon. So guess under Octohat. One of our nicknames for this reversible angry octopus. Another festive small Squishmallow. This one is a gingerbread man. Squidbeard. Not a Squirtle this time around, but has another one of these small Squishmallows. This one is mint ice cream. I have lots of fun Squishmallows. I also have too many Squishmallows, probably. But at the same time, they're so cute. I don't think I forgot about that guess of Santa Winnie the Pooh. It's not a Squirtle, but something showed up in the mail this week. Anyone remember the time that there was a campaign for a Cobalt Core plushie? Riggs is here. So, Riggs has a gun and also a boba tea, because these are the things that she is animated with in Cobalt Core. She also has a really pronounced possum tail that for some reason I wasn't expecting. She's a lot... Listen, I love Benjamin. He's very handsome. He's a little, like, rough. He's not made of the softest material. And he's kind of a weird shape. The Riggs is very soft. And, like, very, like, nicely detailed. I like the Riggs a lot. Okay, lightning round guesses. Wait a minute. Are the Squishmallows from the calendar the same size as the McDonald's ones? I never got any of the McDonald's ones. I think those did come here. That might have been sometime around the move. I don't know. I don't know exactly when that happened. Okay, so Neko had guessed behind Clarice. And that's where Donut Cat lives. Any other guesses? There's a number of Squirtles out there. And the number is not like one. The number is more than one Squirtles. Charlie Brown? There you go, you got one. There's the Squirtle. Now, this has been quite a lot of fat. Santa Winnie the Pooh head. That's where Riggs was. I don't know when that one came in. She doesn't kind of want to sit. Doesn't kind of want to sit on her own. Okay, no one wants to sit up. That's fine. That's fine. Charlie Brown doesn't look like Charlie Brown. Yeah, I think his head needs to be rounder, but then he's not the correct shape for a Squishmallow. Has anyone seen the Squishmallow Eevee? It's uncanny to me. It has like kind of that thing where it's like trying to have like different proportions, and it looks, I don't know, it doesn't look quite right. Anyway, thank you for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed Sam Max. This won't be the end of our journey because, like I said, tomorrow I think is a retrospective Sam Max day. But we have completed our journey through the story, and that's exciting. And I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being you. And I hope to see you again soon. I do appreciate everyone coming by and sharing this really fun series of memories with me. And we will be back tomorrow at the usual time. But until then, take care of yourselves and remember that you are Clawsome.